The Central Bobcats are taking on the Eaton Eagles tonight, and this has pretty much been the story so far in the first quarter. Not much action on the offense, but the defense is going off. Cesar Saldana. He has been making plays out here for the defense, and unfortunately, the special teams made a mistake, so it's 2-0. But we're going to have a lot of football coming up. Back to you guys.
All right. Well, hello and welcome to the San Angelo Live Studios. This is show number 2 of the week of COVER1 Live of Week 17. I'm Manny Diaz, joined by
Christian Gabaldon.
And the new Baylor Bear, we can call him a Wall Hawk still.
He's still a Wall.
He's still a Wall Hawk.
Yes, sir.
Tate Williams, Tate the Tank Williams. This dude's larger than life here. We'll show him. He'll show you your hands to prove it. We'll get to that here in a bit. But nonetheless, Tate Williams joining us on the broadcast this evening. So happy to have him on. His Wallhawks made a great run into the playoffs. Maybe got cut just a little bit short. We don't want to get into that. We'll talk about what you're going to be up to on Saturdays to come as you sign your national letter of intent to go play football at Baylor. We are so pumped for you on that, to say the least. We'll get your thoughts on that. But why we're here tonight? Well, the San Angelo Central Bobcats in action against Fort Worth Eaton, and man, oh man, it is right now tied 2-0 there from Abilene Christian University, and there we are. Hazlitt Eaton up 2-0 there in the first quarter of play against your San Angelo Central Bobcats. This is the first second round appearance for the Bobcats since 2017. For the folks that didn't nerd out like I have done over the years, that was the last time we saw Maverick McIver in a Bobcat uniform in the postseason. The Henry Teeters of the world. That was the year that Central was bounced out of the playoffs by Mansfield. It was a tough game, but man, oh man, was it fun to watch, to say the least. But right now, San Angelo Central trailing Hazlitt Eaton 2-0 in the first quarter of play. Looks like they have just now hit the second quarter. So we are efforting highlights all night tonight. We're talking Central High School football, which is never a bad thing. Plus, hanging out with our guy here, Tate Williams, and we'll be talking to him about what he's going to be up to in Saturdays to come. So, Trammell, do we have anything to go to so far? We still kind of just waiting for things to kind of just come in.
Well, we got Brent Blinka. He's down in boots on the ground. He's at Anthony Field there in Abilene. So he'll be getting all the highlights. And so far, it's like I said, been 2-0. So ain't been really much highlights going on. But hopefully we'll get a chance to look at that punt that got blocked and back in the back of the end zone. And Eaton's in the red zone, so we might be getting a touchdown update pretty quick.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get a touchdown from them. Hopefully we get a turnover. That's what we're all about here. All right, so first hour of coverage presented tonight by Little Caesars Pizza of San Angelo for the pregame, for the midgame, for the postgame eats. Little Caesars Pizza of San Angelo, pizza. Tate, are you a fan of the hot and ready?
Yeah, I like Little Caesars. It's it's not bad. I mean, it wouldn't be my first choice, but I mean, I'm more of a steak guy. But when it comes to college, when it comes to pizza, I'm probably going with Little Caesars.
Okay, right on. See, well, you saved it there because we're about to say, we gotta say Little Caesars. Everything.
Can't beat $5, man.
Yeah, it is pretty good pizza.
Yeah, there we go. Nice save, Tate. So the Bobcats, these guys are playing in the second round this season. Do you know any of these guys? Have you kind of gotten to know some of these guys over the years? I mean, although you do play in down a little bit down the road in Wall.
Yes, sir. I mean, I know Seth Levesque used to go to TLCA, and his mom and my mother taught together whenever they taught at TLCA, and I kind of got to know him here and there.
Yeah.
We aren't real close, but we're good friends. Certainly. And Ashton Hartsfield, I know him through some of my other friends, yeah. And there's another one. I don't remember his name, but anyway, I do know a few of them, and I've gotten to know just kind of passing by. I'm not super close friends with any of them. But.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're doing your thing out in Wall, Texas, Wall America, as y'all refer it to. So it's understandable. Ashton Hartsfield, do you know the legend, the myth, the legend of his mullet?
I do not.
Okay, so he has probably one of the most majestic mullets in all of West Texas.
This is true.
Mean, bald eagles come crying out of his mullet. It's just that majestic. So, but yeah, fantastic punter. Usually utilized as a running back at times, but yeah, fantastic punter. Looks like we are about to see an update from Anthony Field as the Bobcats did they give up a touchdown here?
Yeah, unfortunately they did. Manny, I didn't want to say I called it, but I went ahead and said they were going to score, and they ended up doing that, but they got the extra point, and they have the extra point as well, so it's 9-0, but it's early in the game. It's still the second quarter. Bobcats defense has been playing pretty good, so let's see if we can actually get some things going on offense. Remember, there's no Malachi Brown. Got a backup QB in there. Got Tyler Hill, so that way you lose one of those wide receiver, outlets out there. So, it's going to be a tough game for the Bobcats, but you never know with them. So Let's just keep our hopes up.
All right, so let's kind of brief you on the updated score there presented by Deersky and Deersky Realtors. Trammell, you're so good at giving us the verbiage.
The real estate professionals of Texas.
Yes, sir. I love that. The Hazlitt Eaton Eagles have now extended their lead 9-0 over the San Angelo Central Bobcats. This is now in the second quarter of play from Anthony Field on the north side of Abilene, Texas. So we'll hope to see what the Central Bobcats can do. Now, Matt Trammell did touch on this just a little bit as he was saying there with the Bobcats QB1, Malachi Brown. He's officially been ruled out prior to the start of this game due to some health complications there. We wish him a speedy recovery. Thoughts and prayers with him. It doesn't look like he's going to be out too long, but man, anytime you have to be hospitalized for anything, that's no good. Certainly COVID era of things to talk about there. So, but Tate, so you're headed off to Baylor in the fall, signing your national letter of intent there on Wednesday. Tell me about that. I mean, just that excitement of being able to put pen to paper and finally being able to do this thing.
Well, it feels good to have it all set in stone and have everything finalized and done, and it's a big deal for me and my family to have this opportunity for me to get my academics in college paid for, and I get to play football while I'm at it.
And a pretty good program, too.
Yes, sir.
Now, as we talk a lot, we're talking about Abilene Christian University there at Anthony Field on the north side of the Lean. Did you get some offers? Did you get some looks from the folks there at ACU?
Yes, sir. That was actually my first offer, I think, was in April from Abilene Christian. And that was the only tour of any campus that I got to do before COVID hit. And after COVID hit is when most of my recruiting blew up. So I haven't actually been on campus at Baylor.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah,
yes, sir.
That's crazy to think about. All right, we'll put a pin on that. We'll come back to it. Looks like Matt Trammell is ready for us. He's got some goods. Well, I wouldn't call them goods, but he does have something to show us.
Right, so here's that Eaton touchdown. I know it's a quick one, but that was because it was right after the last play. They just ran up and snapped it one more time, and it was just a 1-yard quarterback sneak by their quarterback, St. Alma, and he's been doing this all year to teams. He's not been throwing it as much as he's been running it, and right here, he ran it in there.
Trammell, can you say that last name again?
St. Alma.
One more time?
What's his first name? Brayton St. Alma. Yeah, that's right. Brayton St. Alma.
Okay, well that makes sense there. I'm dying to see what that looks like with how they got that, how the safety kind of came about and things there. So as we see the score there, folks, it is 9-0. Hazlitt Eaton leading your San Angelo Central Bobcats in this one. We're hoping that they can come back with something. And right now, I'm just going to go ahead and say it does not look good. It looks like a Bobcat turnover. Christian, what are you seeing there on the live stream?
Just a mistake from Tyler Hill. Being his first start. He was under pressure and he threw it straight to the defender, who got a pretty good return. But number 75, no, I'm not sure who that is, but made a crucial stop and a big tackle right there.
Trammell, do you have something to show us there?
Yeah, we can go ahead and go to it. This is the interception, but this is the play right before it. The Bobcats, they're driving. Here it is. Give it to number 6 and let him just find a seam. Yeah, Jalen Lifest. He's been playing good all season. Pretty much one of the only weapons left on the outside for the Bobcats after move of their quarterback. So, he's going to have to step it up. And this is what they were doing. But like they said, there was an interception. So, it's going to be a turnover for the Bobcats. 9-0. Eaton's got the ball.
All right. Our highlights are presented tonight by Eggemeyer's General Store, the best darn little general store in San Angelo in West Texas. If you're looking for the last-minute Christmas gift or perhaps the holiday ham, you like some holiday ham?
Eggemeyer's ham's the best.
Yes,
that's what we eat at Christmas.
There we go, yeah, absolutely. So the Eggemeyer's ham, you can't go wrong with that. Go hit up our friends over at Eggemeyer's General Store on Concho Street in downtown San Angelo. All right, so the Central Bobcats, they gave up a turnover here in the second quarter of play against Hazlitt Eaton. We don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know too much about Hazlitt Eaton.
Me either.
All I know is they took an L to South Lake Carroll. Tate, you know anything about? I imagine you've heard the folklore, the luster of the South Lake Carroll Dragons over the years, playing high school football. I'm assuming.
I mean, I don't know a whole lot about them. I've heard the name before.
Yeah. Well, at least you've heard of that. I mean, so we can connect the dots with Hazlitt Eaton and South Lake Carroll.
If you stay long enough, I guarantee you'll have a quarterback that will be from.
Yeah. I mean, the way the South Lake Carroll quarterback Quinn Ewers, he originally committed to the University of Texas to start this season, and then about halfway through the season, he said, "Horns down, I'm done with Austin. Let's go to the Ohio State."
We didn't need him.
He commits to Ohio State, so and he's only a junior this year. So I mean, he's doing all right. I mean, I'm not too sold on him. I saw him against Duncanville last year, and Duncanville just said, "We're not about that smoke," So we'll see what happens with him. But yeah, that's kind of the only connection we have with Hazlitt Eaton as to South Lake Carroll. So. Of course, South Lake Carroll going to play Odessa Permian tomorrow afternoon. It's a little matinee action back at Anthony Field on the campus of Abilene Christian University. So, in fact, I'm gonna go check out that game. I'm a high school football nerd myself, so I'm gonna go get the COVER1 goods on that one there. So we are waiting some highlights to see what happens with this one. It looks like Hazlitt Eaton is driving the football. They are in Central Territory.
St. Alma just had a fumble, but. Luckily, his offensive lineman jumped right back on it. The second time that's happened for him.
Yeah. So. Christian, how does this Eaton offensive line look? Do they look like
they're beefy? I think they said the average weight was 290, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
There's some beefy boys up there. But, we got baby D baby to match him.
Baby. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, get a little chicken strip dinner tonight. We need some of that. Tate, coming from Wall, you're obviously the biggest guy on the field and the biggest guy in the program. Going from that Class 3A, competition to now you're going to see some of the best guys in the country in the Big 12 and certainly at Baylor. Has that kind of hit you that you're going to, you may not be the big fish anymore?
Oh, yeah. And, I'm expecting that from the get-go. And, it's just it's something that you got to understand. It's, you'll be real good from where you come from, but once you get there, everybody else was that guy.
Right.
They were that guy where they came from, and it's definitely gonna be a learning curve, but I'm ready for it, and I'm ready to get better and match it.
Well, I think if there's a guy to take on the challenge, it's you, sir. I know what's the biggest thing to talk about, and you and I had a conversation, during the summer. And I think, the Baylor folks, the Baylor fan page, they blew it up and everything. It was like the size of your hands. Because, and I think we looked at it, and you're probably maybe a few inches off from the size of Kawhi Leonard's hands. And Kawhi Leonard, if you know anything about NBA basketball, star for the Los Angeles Clippers, former star for the San Antonio Spurs. I think it's like, 7 foot. It's a crazy, or 7 inches, over 7 inches in the hands, correct?
Mm-hmm. I think it's 10.5 is what
we're gonna have to get a ruler out.
We're gonna have to do something with that. And that was kind of like the thing we talked about when we had a picture of your hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's amazing to see that. You can probably palm 2 basketballs at that point.
I can palm 2 in both hands.
Holy smokes!
Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay. And so you play basketball as well.
I do. Yes, sir.
So do they kind of like Shaquille O'Neal you, and they put you in the post?
That's about what I do.
You live down there?
A lot, and even over we go up 5 out. My goal is to get in the paint and body the little dude.
So do you ever do you ever have that Dirk Nowitzki in you and be like, hey, I can pop one out from behind the line there.
That's my coach made a deal with me this year. Coach Dawson told me, he said I get 1 miss on the season, and he said if I make the first one, then he'll give me 2 misses. If I make the second one, he'll give me 3. But he wants to keep me further inside, and that's where I've been making my money.
Well, that's in fact, I mean, if he's a smart man, so he's definitely doing that there. All right, so we do have a score update from Anthony Field, and I'll tell you this right now, it's not looking too particularly well for the San Angelo Central Bobcats. With Malachi Brown out this game, Tyler Hill, he is the heir apparent to take over when Malachi graduates in the spring. So I guess you can say the Tyler Hill era is officially starting tonight.
Yeah, he's getting a little early start.
Yeah, it's like it's getting a head start on next year's taxes. Not sure if you want to. It's not sure something you want to do, but
hey, it's got to happen.
It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
So we're seeing right now. What is our updated score that we have from Anthony Field?
15-0.
I think 16. Did he not?
16. Did he hit the extra point there?
Oh yeah, I guess 16. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's show it to you live and in color there. 16-0 Hazlitt Eaton right now leading the San Angelo Central Bobcats there in the second quarter of play from Anthony Field. Christian, do you think that there's any, what do you think obviously they're going to need big plays, but, you got to start somewhere and you got to start chipping away at something. Thoughts from you, my man?
I think maybe keep the ball out of the air as much as, you're going to run the clock out when running it. But I think running it's their best bet. They had a few good runs from Navarrete at the beginning, and Life SD at the back can also do some things. And, just handing off and also quick screens to whoever I think can do a lot for them right now.
And all they have to do is just chip away now.
Yeah,
they don't have to win. They don't have to go for the win.
Yeah, you don't got to, force Tyler to make big-time throws right now. Just kind of ease him in and with the short balls, and just what you can take what you can get, basically.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to look at it. Hey, another game that we were watching tonight, a team that our very own Tate Williams knows a thing or two about, the Gymned Indians. They're playing for the title. They're playing against Hallettsville?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So this is a score update for them.
Yeah,
they just started the second quarter. It is 14-0.
14-0.
Yeah, so
who's winning that one there?
Oh, not Jim Ned, man.
Not Jim Ned.
No. Hallettsville, they've got that kid, that running back who's going to Texas. So
okay, well,
it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough when he already has 1 touchdown. He's already got like 86 yards in the first quarter. So
we'll just give him the rock and figure it out later.
Goes. But nonetheless, I got that. I got the touchdown if y'all want to see for the Central boys.
Well, I guess let's check it out here, Trammell.
All right, so same guy as last time, QB keeper, St. Alma, all the way. He's been doing it to everybody all year, like I said. But this one was a little bit different. Not a QB keeper, but just a read option play here where he's just going to keep it and bounce it to the outside and find the hole. Okay,
well, that's tough to stop. If you haven't really found a whole lot of answers for it. It's tough to find answers during the actual game unless you. I imagine there's got to be some kind of reconvening at the break and to evaluate it there. But man, this guy is opening up that can. I won't say the rest of that. You know how you can figure it out from there. But yeah, the Central Bobcats just kind of on the struggle bus right now defensively. So what are we saying his name is?
Braden St. Alma.
What's that, Trammell?
Braden St. Alma.
I'm just enjoying you saying that name because I know I'm not gonna attempt that. The fact that you attempted that is unto its own.
Hey, I haven't even said their running back's name because he hasn't even come.
Oh gosh.
Why? Yeah. What's
Jahbez Hawkins? Jabez Hawkins.
Jabez.
What'd you call him?
Jabez.
Okay.
Something like that. We're getting there. Learning by the day.
All right, so we'll see what happens with Hawkins and St. Alma.
So I said he had 82 yards in the second.
Mm-hmm.
He had 132. It's 10 minutes and 19 seconds in the second quarter. That's
good.
That Brooks kid from Hallettsville.
Okay, so 14-0 right now. Jim Ned trailing Hallettsville. Tate, you saw this Jim Ned team. Up close and personal, and they're in your district. Were you surprised to see the run that they've made deep into December this season?
Well, early on preseason, and then coming into district, especially preseason, talking to some of those kids, and I know personally they were thinking early on in the year that there wasn't going to be much of a team for Jim Ned this year.
Really?
And which was kind of surprising later on. But they're very young. They've got a lot of kids, not a whole lot of seniors on the team, so they could take a shot at it next year as well. But these guys, they're stout, and they got the want to do it. And I mean, I wouldn't put it past them for them to make this game a turnaround and a big game towards the end.
Well, their running back Xavier
Wishart.
Wishart, yes. Xavier Wishart. Man, I think he had 271 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns against Pilot Point. Pilot Point's a decent team.
Yeah, they're not bad at all.
I mean, this dude is just wrecking kids every Friday night or anytime he hits the football field. How difficult was it to challenge him whenever y'all played him?
I mean, he was a big part of their team, especially when we played him. He played a big role in taking us down and winning district this year, and he's a standout, and I really think that he's going to have a chance to play on the next level somewhere, if not Division I.
Perhaps a Division II, maybe a D3.
But I'd give him Division I prospect looks. I mean, he is solid all the way around. He's a stout kid. He's fast, and he knows how to read a block. And I give it to him. Yes, sir.
All right. So we're talking Jim Ned tonight. With that, get with Tate Williams here. Wall offensive lineman, defensive lineman, headed off to the University of Baylor in the fall. But the game that we are watching and we're keeping a close eye on is the San Angelo Central Bobcats against the Eaton Eagles, the kids from Fort Worth, Texas. And looks like we got some good news, and we're going to bring in a good highlight with this. The Bobcats, this isn't over yet, folks. They were down 16, was it 15 or 16?
16-0.
16-0, yeah, they
16
were.
to nothing. But it looks like they're far from waving the white flag by any stretch of the imagination. And we were saying earlier in the broadcast that Malachi Brown, the QB1 for the Bobcats, is out for this game due to health complications. So Tyler Hill, the guy that's set to replace him next season, is taking the snaps at under center this season tonight. And it looks like he's doing a pretty solid job so far, and it is not over yet, because right now in the second quarter it is Hazlitt Eaton in 16. Central Bobcats just got on the scoreboard courtesy of Tyler Hill. It's now 16-7 as your Bobcats. It's still two-possession ball game there, but yeah, and we talked about that, Christian. You gotta just chip away, and that was and I think you kind of called that there because it was one of those running plays.
Yeah, I mean, if there's somebody that can keep him in the game, it's Tyler Hill right now. I mean, he's definitely their biggest threat.
The dude's a gamer.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, and he's just got the perfect quarterback stature, and he's got good legs on him. So,
right.
Which we saw him showcase.
And traditionally, when it comes to that, San Angelo, that central, quarterback to be, we usually see those guys line up at wideout. We've seen, the Cal Vincents of the world. We've seen, Maverick McIver. We've seen a lot of these
even
different.
Mal.
Yeah, even Mal was a wide receiver before he took the reins there. So. It's not unusual to see those guys because they're playmakers. They're usually the best players.
And I feel like it helps you, learn the playbook even more, playing from that wideout spot. And
Definitely.
Knowing what routes you're going to run.
Definitely.
And everything.
All right. Well, Tate, you're so used to playing, that rough and tough, run heavy type of scheme. You've been playing that for so long of your high school career, and I think you and I talked about that this summer. And now you're going to kind of flip the script a little bit, and you're gonna play a little spread offense. How much are you looking forward to that, or are you looking forward to that? Then?
I'm gonna miss the put your head down and just bowl over people thing. That's a lot of fun, and you just get out there and run over somebody. But it's gonna be fun to play alongside guys that really can throw the ball and can really run it as well. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to learning the new style of offense. Is just something I've never really been a part of, and I mean my football knowledge isn't extremely high. I mean, I just play the game and do what my coach tells me to, and I never really got into football until this year, and I don't think I'd watched a college game or maybe an NFL game
crazy.
Here and there, and it was really just I've always been into the sport that I was doing, between football, shot put and discus, and basketball, but I'm really looking forward to getting over there and learning the new things, and especially with the more traditional offense that Baylor has as compared to ours. I mean, we don't even have a pass set in our playbook. I mean, it's nose in the ground and get dirty every play.
So. This man's a different breed.
Yeah, because whenever we saw you guys, take on Bushland, and that was just a wild game.
Yes, sir. It was.
It was because we were that was part of our broadcast that night, and we're always a Wall fan, certainly when you guys are playing, but we were just ultra Wall fans at that point because it was like, oh my gosh, we're going into overtime. These guys have a legitimate shot to just pull this thing off. But with that said, so I mean the passing game, y'all don't do a whole lot of that there at Wall. Have they talked about that with you there at Baylor?
Well, I mean, that was a big concern with a lot of recruiters, especially at the beginning. Is like there's no film of me pass blocking, and a lot of these recruiters, that's what they're looking for. Is they're looking at how you look and how you hold up and how you can hold ground based on your size, weight, and then can you move well laterally and things like that. But there is an offensive lineman at Baylor right now. His name's Casey Phillips, and this is kind of ironic. He's number 79 too, but they compared me to him as he went to Franklin in high school. Okay. And
that's another.
They run the wishbone, and they've got a lot of triple option type stuff. And he didn't have a whole lot of pass blocking either. And they compared my frame to his and a lot of my stuff, and they're like, man, this is why we recruited this guy. Why can't we take him too?
Why not?
So
yeah, honestly, why not at that point? All right, here with Tate Williams, no longer the Baylor commit. He is a Baylor signee. He is going to be a Baylor Bear next fall. We're so looking forward to seeing him playing on Saturdays and competing for a starting job there. But tonight, the Central Bobcats, they've taken a few on the chins. I mean, this is a true heavyweight fight. It's looking like the early rounds of. Did you catch the Mike Tyson?
I did. The
Roy Jones Jr.
Yes.
I mean, Mike Tyson. I felt like he landed a few punches in there.
Definitely.
I mean, right now Eaton is the Mike Tyson, and it appears the Bobcats are is representing.
Hey, as long as they're not Nate Robinson. Right now.
Yeah, we ain't trying to be flatlined.
Yeah.
We ain't trying to get mean
though. We do have a score update. Looks like Eaton did get on the after a long pass by Jabez Hawkins. They ended up getting in on a 2-yard run. So
what does that make?
22-7.
22-7.
I think so. It was right.
That's right. Trammell, these updates here, man.
I'm sorry.
The Bear of bad news.
We need the.
I know. We're gonna have to get on the horn with old Blinkers to get us some highlights of this. But right now, Hazlitt Eaton leading San Angelo Central 22-7. Like we said earlier, we don't know a whole lot about Hazlitt Eaton. They were, I believe they were a 5A school at one point, but because of enrollment and how they're growing in that Fort Worth area,
of course, yeah.
They've jumped up classification, as have those pocket schools around the suburbs around the inner cities. I mean they're growing. So Eaton has now become a 6A school, and apparently they got some studs on this team that can ball out. So
St. Alma used his arm for once last drive, and he got it done. Was it to Jabez?
Jabez Hawkins got the score, and we can actually check that out right now.
All right, so let's go to the highlight presented by Eggemeyer's General Store.
All right, here it is. Just these big boys out here. Tate, you know about this. Rumbling, bumbling. You see 75 right there. I mean, this is just
showing his dominance.
Yeah,
right there.
And I don't know if he actually got all the way in, but this was called a touchdown. But looks a little questionable from this angle.
Yeah, very questionable. I mean, should not have been a touchdown.
Either way, though, it is good. The score right now is 23-7 with 41 seconds left in the second quarter.
Man, okay, so we are needing something quick to happen, quick, fast, and in a hurry for the Bobcats. Thank you, Matt Trammell, there at the live desk, giving us the goods there. So it is 23-7 in the second quarter. Hazlitt Eaton just showing. I mean, it's just having their way. I mean, when you see those big offensive linemen from Hazlitt Eaton, what comes to mind when you see these guys there?
Well, I mean, they've kind of taken over the line of scrimmage of this game. You can really see it, especially in those short yardage plays. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're driving the ball, and the backfield's really not having to work very hard to gain some yards. I mean, especially with a good offensive line, a lot of things can happen.
Yeah, so we that's certainly going to have certainly something's going to have to happen from that standpoint defensively. When you go up against, because you played on both sides of the football.
Yes, sir.
I imagine you've had to go toe to toe with some big guys like you. Mm-hmm. What's that like? Certainly playing Ironman football and having to do it both ways there.
So on the offensive side, going against a bigger guy, you're obviously not going to be able to just throw him on the ground every single play. Mm-hmm. It kind of comes down to who's going to grind it out and who's going to get lower and stick it out for the whole game. But once you wear them down enough, it gets a lot easier and you get in their head. But on defensive side of the ball, which that's really not my specialty, but I enjoy playing defense, and we got a great defensive coordinator at Wall. And I love playing for him.
Craig Slaughter is by far probably the most entertaining defensive coordinator ever.
He's something else.
The dude is just, raw in your face.
He's a live wire, and I love him.
That's the best way to put that. Yeah. All right, here we do have a look from Brent Belinka from Abilene Christian.
So this was the touchdown earlier from Tyler Hill right here. Remember, he's the starting quarterback now, so he's actually looking to maybe throw this ball, and then just kicked it out and went and found the end zone.
Yep.
That was the only touchdown for the Bobcats as they're ending the halftime point right now.
All right, so the Bobcats still trail 23-7. That's a play we've seen before, and certainly with Malachi Brown at the helm there. How Christian, obviously whenever Malachi took over as quarterback from Maverick McIver, they had to probably water some things down and simplify them. Do you think that they're going to be doing that tonight with Tyler Hill, or do you think his concept of the quarterback position being the starter is kind of just fully ingrained in his head?
I don't think they'll slow him down too much. I think Tyler Hill right now had a little more better throwing accuracy than Malachi Brown did his sophomore year. It's nothing against Malachi, obviously, but I think they'll still have him throw some intermediate routes. But for Malachi, when he took over, I remember it was like a lot of QB draws and like just throw your hitches and screens to us, and then kind of have us do it, me, Tanner, and then he always had Phillips and Jackson back then too. So, I don't think they'll, depress it a little too much for him, just because he has arm strength and the arm talent for it. Right. But, obviously not the same as if Malachi was in.
Yeah, and Malachi, he was just kind of, I felt like he was just put behind the, he was put behind the 8 ball in a lot of different things, because, he never played, varsity. He had never taken varsity snaps, and yet, he was just going
just a little fishy.
Off of his raw talent ability to play. So, I think Tyler Hill's a little bit more advanced than what I think you put it right on the head there. So we could be good to go. Trammell, do we have an update from Arlington between Gymnad and Hallettsville?
Yeah, I do. So Hallettsville got on the board again, and it was Brooks, the commit to Texas. 190 yards and 2 touchdowns, and there's still 5 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yikes.
He's averaging 11 yards a carry, and he's already touched it 16 times.
Oh, my gosh.
Gymnad only has 1 first down, only 18 receiving yards, and only 11 rushing yards. So that's not very many.
Yeah. So
29 yards total.
Oh, my gosh.
So a blowout there in Arlington.
Yeah, that's what that looks like. Tate, seeing that from the Gymnad Indians, imagine you followed them all throughout the postseason because you played in the same district as them. does this surprise you tonight? How they're kind of just being dominated tonight?
Well, I mean, looking at it preseason-wise, they played a real tight game against Hallettsville before district started. I think the final score was 24-21, if I'm correct. But their running back's their biggest threat, number 5, Xavier Wishart, and be it seen as from an opposing team standpoint, our big goal was to shut him down, which we didn't do an extremely good job of, and he's been running the ball all over teams left and right, and I think you shut him and Yardley down, along with Austin Martin. He's a big time tight end for him as well. Those are the three key players that you take out of the game. They don't. I think that's probably what's happening right now. And defensive wise, something interesting about Jim Ned is almost all of their offensive starters start on defense as well. So they have a lot of two-way starters, and
that's insane.
They're probably going to tire quickly. And so and that was watching that Mount Vernon game last week. Mount Vernon had nobody that started both ways. And they
so they had guys that were fresh.
Yes, they had fresh guys coming in and out, and that's something I think Jim Ned's struggling with this year, is having a lot of depth. They do have a lot of younger kids, but the depth I don't think is there for them.
That's huge down the stretch there. Trammell, do we have anything?
I think we are at halftime right now. I have a full-time halftime highlight if we want to take a look at that.
Yeah, we're always down for a little halftime highlight there. You tell me when to take it, and
let's get it going.
All righty, so halftime highlights courtesy of Eggemeyer's General Store.
All right, so this is the first touchdown. It's a pretty quick one. It was a first starting drive by the Eaton Eagles. This is going to be their quarterback, St. Amma. That's going to be his first one for the half right there. Then a little reverse play right here to Jalen Lyfesti. He got a few plays on this one, but unfortunately, interception next play. Later on the drive, we got this is the first touchdown right here from Central. So take a quick look at this one. Tyler Hill, only touchdown in the game so far. He looks to pass, takes off to the right, and goes and scores. But next drive, Eaton, they have the ball. And they drive all the way with their running back, Jabez Hawkins. And this is right here is just get out of my way. Oh, this was actually the second touchdown from St. Amma. This was actually earlier. Then there was another touchdown by Jabez Hawkins, which made it 23. Is that 23 to 7?
Yeah,
23 to 7.
Well, it's a whole lot of Eaton. That's I think that's probably the best way to put it.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Man, so it's just a tough night for the Central Bobcats, who are now trailing 23-7 at the break. Thank you, Trammell, there. Thank you, Eggemeyer's General Store, courtesy of our highlights there on the night. All right, so as we enter hour number 2, we are. This is presented by W&W AFCO Steel. This is hour number 2 of live COVER1 here on SanAngeloLive.com. Man, this is it's. I really didn't know what to expect tonight with this Central ball game, just because we don't know a whole lot about Eaton. These guys, they haven't played a whole lot of 6A football. All we know is maybe that they got there was a guy that we're saying that maybe committed to Iowa State.
Yeah, on their defense, I'm not sure who.
Yeah, defensively. So, and you'll see that in the Dallas Metroplex area. Some of these bigger programs, you'll see the blue chip star sprinkled in all across the area there. So, it would have been what gave Central fans a lot of hope, to potentially win this game, was the fact that, Weatherford almost beat Eaton last week.
And they were up majority of the game, Weatherford was. So.
And, Weatherford, they're not the greatest team. And it was a team that San Angelo Central has beaten in the last 2 seasons. So I think that's what was kind of the glimmer of hope. Now I don't know. There's going to have to be some crazy adjustments being made there.
Well, I think just the safety is really what got Hazlitt Eaton going, because prior to that, the whole first quarter was just defense, and we didn't see much scoring at all So I think the safety really, pushed them to go down and score. St. Amma was running pretty well, their 2 running backs. So, I think coming out of the half, Central gets the ball. I think that they can hopefully get Tyler Hill running and going, and Jalen Lifesty and them boys.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, I'll ask you this, Tate. Coming, you're fresh off the gridiron there, playing in the high school football playoffs. To come back with, to kind of scheme together a game plan at the break to kind of fix some things. How difficult is that? We always say, you can armchair quarterback or armchair defensive quarterback or defensive coordinator this whole thing from here. But how difficult is that to just foresee, what another team might do to kind of scheme around that there?
Like as in scheme around what we're doing.
Yeah. To anticipate. I guess if you're down at the half defensively and you're just trying to claw back into that game there.
Well, a lot of it's real minor things, and it all comes back to what we watched in film and what we've seen them do and what their tendencies are. You can watch them what they do when they play ahead. They're gonna, if they're gonna run the ball, which most of their touchdowns have been running touchdowns, and then they had a big gain on an interception.
Right.
It's a lot of minor adjustments here and there, and a lot of what I'm seeing is just small mistakes by Central's defense, and then a couple errors on offense. But other than that, this is a pretty tight game.
Yeah. Do you think? Looking at this, I know you haven't. Obviously you've been playing on Fridays this season, but do you think Central has a legitimate shot to potentially mount a comeback in this one here?
Well, defense is really going to have to step up in the second half, especially defensive line wise. They're going to have to be able to hold the line of scrimmage and not allow for any more
Can you hear me?
large rushing yards or big breaks in the
Can you hear me?
in the center. But if the D line can hold up and the secondary can lock down those receivers, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure out something pretty quick. But yeah, this Eaton team. They're just kind of having their way with this the Central football team tonight. So
I got a question for you, Tate. You seem like a nice, chill dude, but obviously playing D-line and O-line, you gotta have some grit in you, like you said. Like how I compare it is like a boxing match every play. Do you talk trash when you're on the field?
I think we're gonna leave that one for on the field.
I like that. Yeah, that's very good.
It's on the field. It's a whole different animal. You don't. It's kind of, you got the blinders on and you got one thing on your mind, one thing only, and it's a different world.
Yeah, between those white lines, man. If somebody grabs your face mask or something, I don't want to be in Tate's way.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in Tate's way regardless. Now, Tate, you and I, we talked about this. It was the game against Boyd, the first round matchup game. And there was a call that you were called for like unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yes, sir.
And it was because you're not that type of guy.
Well, what happened ended up this kid. I talked to him after the game. I was blocking him, and I was riding the block, and I was watching where the ball went, and I was looking the other way, and I had one hand on him. And I turned around and like pushed off of him a little bit, and he threw his hands up in the air and fell over somebody.
Completely LeBron the whole time.
Oh yeah, he flopped, and the whole Hollywood show out of it. But
he won an Oscar.
Yeah, and they threw the flag on it and called unsportsmanlike conduct, unnecessary roughness, I think was the call.
Yeah.
And I got pulled, and coach told me I was sitting the rest of the game, but ended up I guess he felt something in his heart, put me back in. But,
perhaps he needed to win the football game. I don't know. Maybe that's just a wild idea. But yeah, I thought that was so crazy, and it was late in the fourth quarter, wasn't it?
It was. I think it was late in the third.
Okay.
And the funny thing about it is, I go talk to him after the game, and I was like, I gotta know, man. Did you flop on that, or did I really push you over? And he just laughed, and he was like, hey, it was a flop, and it was all good, all in good fun after the game. But
that's probably, you could probably count on one hand of how many personal fouls you've ever had.
That game I had 2 actually. Well, I guess roughing the passer wouldn't be considered a personal, really.
Okay,
but,
you're flirting with that a little bit.
And it was, they called it a late hit, but the ball was barely leaving his hand, and I don't know. It was both of those were kind of wishy-washy, but I ended up having to run 5 miles for that one, that personal. But that's the rule and got to follow it. But.
Wow. Now we've seen times that I've been to wall practice.
Hey, can you hear me?
You guys, Coach Guy takes punishment seriously. If you miss a lifting session or if you do something stupid in a game, you're certainly going to pay for it. And I've seen Chase Rios pay for a lot of different things, certainly with taking a 45-pound plate and running around the track. Is that called anything?
Yeah, those are called halos. And that poor kid needs to figure out how to set an alarm. Man, get up for 6:30 weights, man. He's there 5 minutes late every day. But if you miss or used to, he called them halos, and you'd hold a 45-pound plate over your head, and you'd run a lap around the track. And any time that it touched your head, you had to drop and get 10 push-ups.
Oh my God!
So, and that's just incentive to keep that thing above your head the whole time.
Oh my gosh!
It then turned into sled pushes, where you take those little red sleds, and you said, I think there's a 45 on it, and they're on the ground. You got to push them all the way down the field. And
that sounds terrible.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't. I mean that appeals to nothing.
Those are Coach Guy brings those out. That's the make everybody moan and groan thing.
Oh boy! All right. So Tate Williams here. He is no longer committed to the University of Baylor. He is a Baylor signee. He's going to play offensive line for those guys down there in Central Texas, and just we're hoping he just earns a spot here quick, fast, and in a hurry, so we can see him playing on Saturdays there. But before we'll talk to him a little bit more on that. But we are now at the half here at the Central Bobcat game as they take on the Eaton Eagles, kids from Fort Worth, Texas. There. Before we get to talking more about the half, we'll introduce you to our COVER1 preview piece of the week, presented by Bug Express. Are you guys nervous tonight at all? Is that a dumb question?
Yes, always. Before every game. Nervous, excited. Excited, nervous, yes.
Yes, excited, nervous, definitely.
We try to give them inspiration, show them how much love we have for them. The snack buckets we get together and pack up for them every game. The decorations we put up in the hallway in the locker room for them. The decorations out here. We just try to let them know that everybody's here to support them.
Right.
And,
this is what us parents do to show our boys that we love them.
Yes, absolutely.
That we absolutely love them, and that we are proud of them and their hard work and their dedication.
Yes.
Yes, sir. We're thinking about him a lot. We've done prayers. He's in our prayer network already. I personally sent a message to my son to tell the team, tonight it's for Malachi. We're going to win this for Malachi. Let's do it for him. This is very sad. It's unfortunate, but we're super stoked. I think we know who's going to be in, and I think he's going to surprise some
The players are going to have the fire to get in there and get it done for him, for the team, for themselves. They're going to show up.
All right, gotta love the Bobcat moms. I mean, just moms in general who support athletics. I know your mom was certainly part of that, and your mom, Tate, always on the sideline snapping photos. In fact, great photographer, always doing her thing there. And that's kind of the story of the day with this is the Bobcat moms who pretty much just they go to the end of the earth for the Bobcat football players, as probably Tate has also seen with out in Wall. But hey, joining us now, we are going to bring in our resident Bobcat connoisseur, Ryan Chadwick. He is hanging out there at Anthony Field on the north side of Abilene, Texas. In fact, Matt Trammell is on the phone with him. Chadwick, how you doing, sir?
Hey, Manny, what's going on?
I feel like this is Do you want to be what is it? Who wants to be a millionaire?
Yeah, we're phoning a friend.
We're just phoning a friend here. Chadwick, just kind of just give us an update. What's going on in the game?
Well, the absence of Malachi Brown is very evident on offense for the Bobcats tonight. They can't really seem to get anything going, and when they do, they seem to be shooting themselves in the foot, and drives are stopping early. Misfortune is happening here and there. On Tyler Hill's lone interception of the night, a Bobcat receiver completely slipped as Tyler was throwing the ball, and it was just easily picked off and taken the other way for another 40 yards. And, of course, bad snap on a punt led to a block punt, went out of the end zone. And on defense, it's just the Bobcats have no answer for the run. They're just running a basic zone and a basic read option, but the lanes at the big boys from Fort Worth are opening up. Are just a little too much for the Bobcats to handle. Like once the Fort Worth gets inside the 5, it's just sneak until they're in.
Well, Chadwick, you don't seem very enthusiastic as we've seen you in the past. What's going on, dude? Are you giving up on your Bobcats, or is there a chance that we might see a little better action in the second half?
I think, as the half went on, Tyler Hill settled down, and I think offensive production is going to return. If he can find a connection with his receivers, and they're going to have an easier time going forward, and they can put some points on the board. On the defensive side of the ball, the Bobcats need to be able to rest. They need to be able to make the stops, and they just got to stop giving up big plays.
All right, we've talked about what the worst things of the games have been. Show them some love, man. Talk about that D-line. You know, they've been playing a little good. You know, and yeah, and just kind of give us your takes on best sides.
Okay, all right. So D-line's got 2 sacks and 2 forced fumbles, and they have forced 2 punts. The turnovers by the offense have not helped the defense rest and have some time on the sidelines to recuperate, but they are playing at a high level right now. They just, need to recover a little bit. On the offense side of the ball, towards the end of the first half, the Bobcats started to figure out a little bit. Tyler Hill ripped off a couple huge runs. Like SC solid as always. Now I'm telling you, they can just get the passing together, then they can make things happen.
All right, guys. Any other questions for Chadwick?
I think that's it.
Well, Chadwick, do you think this is the game plan is being simplified for Tyler Hill? Or do you think they're throwing Malachi Brown like things at him?
I think that the offense to a certain extent has been simplified, but this is a starter playing the quarterback position right now anyway. He's in every snap that Malachi's been in this season. He just plays receiver, So I don't think they have to necessarily dumb it down for him at all, but I do think they are setting him up with easy looks, easy reads, quick passes that he can complete to get his confidence going before the rest of the offense will be open to him. So no, I don't think it's incredibly simplified, but I do think Coach Davis is giving him a break a little bit with some of his easier throws.
Yeah, well.
All right, Chadwick. Well, I guess we'll talk to you in a little bit after the game. Say some prayers to the football gods and hope the Bobcats can come back.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Chadwick. All right, so the Central Bobcats trailing at the half 23-7 against the Fort Worth Eaton Tigers. It's what do you do at this point? I mean, the Bobcats, they have to find a way to stop them defensively. Mm-hmm. I think more than trying to do, because Tyler Hill, he is what he is. You know what you're going to get at him. You're going to get fantastic play. You got guys that can make plays on the offensive side of the ball. But I think first to really start chipping away at this glacier. It's not even really a glacier, but just chipping away at the ice, what's in front of you. Is you got to get a stop, and I think that's square number one. That's peg number one. Got to do that. If they don't, man, it's going to be a long second half.
And we know they can. They did it the whole first quarter. So I mean, it's basically just them doing what they did in the first quarter,
right?
And hoping Tyler Hill gets comfortable back there in the pocket. So
yeah, and I think certainly what we saw last week against El Paso Eastlake, the Bobcats were sustaining drives. Mm-hmm. I mean, these guys were just knocking things out of the park, being very methodical.
Absolutely, yeah. Best way to
We're
put
not
it.
seeing a whole lot of that tonight.
No, I just, it's just a little antsiness from Tyler Hill like it should be. I mean, of course there's going to be some pressure, second round of the playoffs, but, I think they'll come out pretty strong, get the ball at half. That's also always a great thing, make this a one-score game if they can score here, and hopefully defense gets to stop. So.
Yeah.
You could also think when you're playing football and you got the ball in your hands, if you're a quarterback and you have the ball in your hands, you're looking to of course not get tackled, but looking to do things with it. When you're a receiver and you catch the ball, your instincts are just like, okay, let's just get up the field. Let's just, you know what I mean, make some moves, get as fast as you can, as quick as you can, get up there. And quarterback, sometimes you need some patience. You got to kind of wait it out for a second. So it may be a little time for him to adjust to that initial, I have the ball, now I have to do something with it that you have in football.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right, Trammell, and that's a really good assessment of that. Hopefully we can see a little life from the Bobcats. I don't think it's all resting. It needs to all rest on Tyler Hill. I think it's we got to see the defense kind of just.
We got to stop the quarterback run.
Yeah,
we have to.
Got to stop St. Alma.
Yeah, St. Alma.
Braden St. Alma.
Okay. Hey, how about some fan mail here? Christina Lee. You know Christina Lee, Tate? So proud of you, Tate. Can't wait to watch you on the big screen or drive out to Waco. So if you didn't know you had a fan there. So somebody certainly looking forward to watching you on Saturdays to come. And of course, our good pal Dwayne Huff.
My man.
Yeah, that's the father of D Baby on the field, number 99. Eaton is eating on our Cats right now. The Cats are set up for a great comeback. It's sick 'em all day round here, baby. Man, I hope Dwayne Huff is right about that, because we need something to happen quick, fast, and in a hurry. Because right now the Bobcat line is it's not looking too good of what we're doing. Hey, joining us now, Michael Brown Jr. We appreciate you. This is Malachi Brown's older brother, so appreciate you, Mike Brown Jr. Remember calling highlights of him tearing things up from yesteryear.
Hey, and if he's with Malachi, what's up?
Yeah, if you're with Malachi, tell him we said hello. We wish him
get well very soon.
Yeah, get well soon. Hopefully the Bobcats can pull out the dub tonight, so we can have a chance to see Malachi play one more game.
One more time, not one.
Suit up that number 8.
Yeah. We got to get the 8.
The Ocho.
On the Ocho, yeah. Trammell, there we go.
Bobcats got the ball first, guys, so you know what that means. If they can score right here, it could be 14-23 very quickly. So we'll see what happens. Right now, Tyler Hill just kind of throw it. Just a little short on a little wheel route from the running back. We're not going to get a first down there, but not fourth yet. It's 3rd and 10, though. So not the best start of the drive. Not the best start of the game here for the Bobcats.
All right, so what are we facing? 3rd
and 10 right
10.
here. Yeah, on the opening drive, 25-yard line.
All right, so you see these 3rd and longs, these 3rd and 10s. What could be a potential play for the Bobcats with the Tyler Hill running the show?
I mean, you said it yourself, and he's running the show.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness,
look at him go.
He looks like Lamar Jackson out there, white Lamar Jackson.
I hope Blinkers is rolling on that, because we just saw Tyler Hill reel off a very nice run. That's what that guy does.
Yeah,
he's a baller.
Yeah, those QBs over there, man. Brent Davis and those QBs, they know how to run the football.
And, they basically ran the same type of play that Malachi Brown would run on 3rd and long. You sit in the pocket, you go 1, 2, 3, and then you just take off running, and everyone's running the wrong direction. And he got not only the first down, but probably 20, 30 yards on it. Yeah. So they crossed midfield on that one play.
All right. Well, we just saw an intermediate pass there, not
to his brother.
Yeah, I'm sure Weston is gonna remind him about that later on this evening, because it wasn't. He kind of let him into traffic there.
Yeah, he's trying to take his head off.
But yeah, that's. We're not seeing. We haven't seen too many deep balls from him, and
no.
They're
most balls that we have seen, they've been a little underthrown, honestly.
Okay. Well, it is coming up on its second down for the Central Bobcats as these guys they're driving. They're now in Eaton territory, so you got to believe that Kevin Crane has drawn something up for the second half of play as the Bobcats trail 23-7. We are now in the early moments of the third quarter of play from the north side of Abilene. Hey, Mike Brown Jr., what's going on, guys? Now with Mal. Mike Sr.'s by his side as we speak, though. Mal is doing good post-surgery. So that's awesome news. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mr. Mike Brown Jr., man. So thoughts and prayers go out to Malachi Brown. As man, he was sidelined today. Had some health complications go on yesterday. They kind of continued in today, so we're praying for a speedy recovery for him. So, but nonetheless, right now it's the Tyler Hill show, and I don't think that's a bad program to watch.
No, not at all.
I mean, I'm certainly I'm enjoying what Tyler Hill's doing here.
Yeah, it's a lot of Mal Brown traits, honestly, and just lack of the arm talent, but he's young. And it's fun to watch him run the ball and, just do his thing with the troops out there that he has.
Tate, thoughts on when you're an offensive guy, you're O-line connoisseur here, playing on the O-line there at Wall. What do you like about this Central O-line? From I guess kind of what you've seen. I mean, I'm not expecting the whole synopsis here, but what do you like about these guys from what you're seeing?
The big run that Hill just had, they got him that first down. That had to been something they recognized. 3rd and 10, Eaton backed off, and they had one down lineman, 2 defensive ends, and that had to been something that offensive line picked up on. And being as how long it took them to call the play, they adjusted to it, and they had what drop back looked like a pass made those 5 linebackers back off, and that secondary is looking for the pass, and he runs up to the middle.
It's like you're there. It's like you're a mini Kevin Crane right now. That's awesome.
Not many, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, not many. But that's very good. Yeah, that's a very good way to explain that.
I mean, having only one nose guard down, I mean, they're heavily expecting a pass, so they're packing their secondary. Okay. And 3rd and 10 situation, that's what they've done all game, so they're ready for it. And they look at the drop back pass, and then he takes off running, and that's first down Central.
Wow, that's a very and you say you weren't much of a football player. Yeah, it sounds like you are, my man. All right, hey, your mom, Christy Williams, joining the broadcast here, watching us here. Austin Garcia, former Central Bobcat player as well. Thank you, Austin. Guadalupe J. Hernandez Jr. also joining us here this evening as well. So. Hey, big things for the Bobcats going on right now. They're driving. They're right at about, what did we call them that?
About 45.
About 45 in Eaton territory. And, man, we're seeing a whole lot of Tyler Hill. And this is kind of like when you go back to the old days of Malachi Brown, when he was just kind of just toting the rock there. So what do you do? This is kind of what we're seeing. Something like that.
Can you use the YouTube?
We're seeing some scraps.
I did that one.
Scrapping over there.
Yeah.
O-linemen going at it. And that's not. You don't want to get between that.
No.
O-line and D-line going at it.
So. Not at all. So that's bringing up about a 4th and 2 for the Bobcats. Obviously, they got to go for something like this. Tate, what do you in a 4th and 2 situation? I mean, your Nostradamus calling up how they kind of figured out that 3rd down there. What do you kind of suspect here what they might do with this short yardage situation here?
They're probably as what Eaton's been doing. In short yardage situation, they've got the offensive line, they've got the big bodies to move the line of scrimmage a yard or two almost every play. Okay. Central's offensive line has done a pretty good job holding off the Eaton's D line. But I'm expecting probably an outside run on this play.
Gotcha. Yeah, it looks like there was 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties called. They offsetted there. Meanwhile, let's go to Matt Trammell. He is hanging out there at the live desk.
Y'all want to talk about O-line, D-line getting dirty, nasty, 2 unsportsmanlike penalties. Here it is right here. It was right after this play. Got a tackle right here, but watch up here. Yeah, big boys. They're getting after it. Who's going to separate them 2? Jeez.
Yeah, you just kind of let them go after it there.
Yeah, you got to have the rest of the offensive line. 97 pulls his helmet off. He's ready to go. Guys, Explain it. Talk about it. Come on. Give me something.
Tate, you see that? What comes to mind? I mean, because those are two big guys there. Obviously, I mean, these are contenders here.
You know, I mean, you get a lot of it can get pretty emotional once you get in there and something doesn't go your way or somebody says something to you that you don't quite appreciate too much. I mean the punches have flown before. I mean, I've never been in a fight. I've been swung at and I've been hit after plays, and I mean, because people don't like when you knock them down all the time.
I can't imagine. Yeah.
It is. I mean, it just something that happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, they were unsportsmanlike penalties called on both teams, so they offsetted. Central would retain the football there. Was facing fourth down, but.
I think that was fourth down, that play.
That was fourth down.
That was fourth down, okay, and the penalties offset and turned it over to Eaton.
Well, okay, so it's things not looking too good for the Bobcats as we speak. Looks like Eaton just hit the scoreboard once again, and it is now 30-7. Kids from Fort Worth here in the third quarter of play. And man, oh man, it's this is getting rough. We thought that the Bobcats had a chance because we talked about how they could potentially get back into this game here. Your thoughts, Christian? How the Bobcats attack this now down multiples? I mean, we're talking 3+ scores now.
Well, we saw right there. We heard from Chadwick everything that they had to stop the run, and what they did there was not stopping the run. I think the second play that Eaton had, it was just a handoff to like the sixth hole, and running back took off and just outraced everybody.
Yeah.
And you got to fill that up somehow in some way. Linebackers got to step up, safeties as well. But I mean, it's just stopping the run, and that's all it is. They took 20 seconds maybe off that drive. So if they can just do that at ease, it's going to be a long game for Central.
Yeah, they've got to get something here, and it's looking like a long night if they can't. I mean, this is like it's the enigma that is trying to figure out what to do with that defensively. Because I mean, right now we just saw a deep pass that went downfield. Am I correct? Was it a deep ball that Eaton went downfield, or was it a run?
It was a run, I believe. It was just a simple handoff.
Yes, I mean, it's trying to figure out this running, the big play there, and Central just really, I mean, that's incredibly difficult for them right now. So, hey, Tate, you do have some more fan mail here. Well, we need to have you on a little bit more often. Linda Sauer Fisher, Tate's definitely ready for the big time. I'm certain when you're talking about the 3rd and 10 situation there. I mean, if you can see that, if you can talk about it, I'm certain you can act it out on the field. That's impressive. Just hearing your take on that, it's almost like watching Tony Romo on the CBS broadcast there. That's kind of cool. All right, so the Central Bobcats now down 30-7 here in the second quarter of play. We saw a scuffle there between the two teams. Hopefully does not get any more.
Brent Davis ain't going to let that happen. He's not going to
yeah.
That with Coach Guy. How does Coach Guy handle it's or even any kind of over celebration or anything like
anything that sticks out from what you should be doing is not tolerated.
Oh yeah.
I think Chase wore a pair of pink gloves in a game. It was the Eastland game.
Oh yeah, that's when he threw up the peace sign.
Oh yeah,
right to me.
Yeah. He had those bright pink gloves on, and that was the first and last time he ever wore those.
I feel like Chase, he had those ways to like poke Coach Guy's buttons, and he maybe knew it was going to happen, maybe not, but I feel like I could always like see if Chase did something good, but he would celebrate or something. I'd look at Coach Guy, and he'd be happy they scored, but there would just be those little bit in it. That's just like,
oh yeah, he did that. No, Coach Guy's big on the keep it clean, keep it classy.
Yeah, so. I bet. Yeah, so Trammell, because I remember that highlight. He chunked up the deuces there.
Yeah, right down the sideline. It's like, see you later.
Yeah, that was something else. Chase Rios. If you ever make it out to a wall practice, certainly whenever they were playing, you can always find Chase Rios having to do something extracurricular because of what he was doing. Or perhaps shouldn't have been doing.
Hey, but that's all right. That probably made him better, especially in y'all's offense. You know, a little tire. I mean, little halos with some tires will probably make you a little tougher for that triple option.
Yeah, Is that? Would you say that the halos are going to make you a little bit better for that, Tate?
Well, I mean, it's definitely a test of endurance. And,
that's a good one.
I'm speaking from experience on that one.
A test of endurance, Coach Guy, man, he can certainly hand out the punishment there. All right, so we're seeing the Central Bobcats. They have the football right now. How much time do we have left in the third quarter?
Around the 9-minute mark.
Oh my goodness! And it is now 30-7.
And the punt team is now coming out.
Okay, wow. This is
the punt team.
This is getting it's starting to get one-sided, quick, fast, and in a hurry for the Bobcats tonight. Blinkers, man, this guy, we got to get, hopefully, man, he can get us something. Do we have anything that maybe he can share with us, perhaps, Trammell?
Nothing quite yet. We just had the fight, but nothing after that. They had that touchdown, and he was not able to get the video.
Okay. Well, all right.
That's all right. Brent Blanket, man, he's going to get him in.
I don't know why he touched the ball.
That was a heck of a punt.
All right, so we just saw a punt here. Christian, describe kind of what we just saw.
It took a good roll for the Cats, and I don't know why this guy picked it up, but he did, the returning guy, and shut him down on the 1 yard line. So a safety would be kind of big here. I guess they gave him forward progress, so he's at the 3 yard line.
All right, so the Bobcats playing with a little something.
Special
something
teams
right now.
doing something.
Yeah, so it's right at the 3 yard line. Eaton on their own 3. So, I mean, we've been talking about this defense. They got to step up right now.
We've seen one safety.
Hey, look who's in right now, though. Big 99.
D baby.
Oh, we got him.
Hey, made the play. Yep. All right.
So right now, Central trailing 30-7 here in the third quarter. It's a lot of time left in this one, with the trailing by 3+ scores here. Man, it's. What do you see? I mean, Christian, how does Central get back in this ball game here? I mean, you're a former Bobcat.
I just think the offense looks dysfunctional, and defense isn't much better. Defense is just allowing rushing yards, taking candy from a baby type of deal, and just all sides of the spectrum. I mean, it's not pretty for the Cats right now. They need to flip it around.
If there's a game that this looks anything like, if it's a reminder of anything, it's probably going back to Colleen Shoemaker.
Yep.
When, I mean, they could not contain the Shoemaker speed.
Yeah.
And those guys were just running wild. And
I will say, though, I mean, they made it to the second round. It could be like us, first round we lose 69-0. At least I got on the board if it is a blowout.
Yeah, that's. But then again, you guys had to play against a really good Arlington Martin team,
that's true.
Who for a while stuck with Duncanville, but then they fell to the machine that is the Duncanville Panthers there. So, man. Central Bobcats football players, y'all need more than prayers. Hey, Rebecca Renteria, easy on that one there.
You were excited yesterday, Rebecca.
Yeah. There's got to be something that's going to happen here. Defensively, we've talked about it all night long, and I feel it's the record that just keeps on playing. Mm-hmm. It's the same song. I think that how they get back into this, it's defensive momentum. And whether it's D-Baby number 99 that gets a big sack or
strip sack,
man, or if it's somebody that chimes in, I think they need something good to happen,
Yeah, anything at this point.
Oh, a little pump fake.
That was an odd-looking pump fake by St. Amma.
All right. Tate, you've, looking at this Bobcat team, how do you envision something good happening, or at least where they can call it a respectable game? What do you think needs to happen for them?
Defensively, they got to figure out how to get something past that offensive line. And I mean, it is a big deal, averaging 290 pounds as a high school offensive line.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid. But they've been, like, see another example right there. That they just clear holes, and they hadn't really had an answer for it. But defensively, they need to figure out how to shut down that massive offensive line, and then offensively just be able to move the ball rather than a couple plays and have to punt it.
Yeah, it's that's tough. I mean, certainly when the guys who consume groceries there on that O line are just, I mean, they're not making it easy. And I think this is what.
We got a snap out the back of the end zone.
Yep. Another one.
Matched it. There you go.
All right, so we just saw here.
Oh, the kid fell into the net and may have gotten injured.
He kicked the ball.
Yeah, he kicked it into the wall there. So we just saw Eaton have to eat a snap here. The snap goes over the head of the punter, and we calling that a safety? Or
that is a safety.
So
they had the same thing happen to them.
So 2 points are going to go to the Bobcats in this one. I mean, it's and those weird, and they don't actually punt after the safety. It's a kickoff, right?
It's a punt. It's a punt after a safety.
I think you have the choice.
Do you have the choice?
I think we saw someone. I think last week we saw someone. I want to say that I think we saw someone do the kickoff last week.
Maybe, but Hazlitt Eaton or Snagelo Central chose to punt whenever they got the safety. So we'll see what Hazlitt Eaton.
We'll see what happens.
All right, so here's your updated score. The Hazlitt Eaton safety adds 2 more to the Central side of the scoreboard. It is now 30-9. The Bobcats trailing Hazlitt Eaton into the third quarter, and have they shaved off any time? I feel like this is the longest quarter ever.
Yeah, quite a long quarter.
Where are we at in this now?
We're around the 7-minute mark.
This is the longest. This has to feel like the longest game ever. I mean, and nothing truly meaningful is happening right now.
That'll give Central some time to score. They go over here and they score, and I mean, you cut that margin in half. Anything can happen, right?
All right, so I mean, let's say they get they march down, they go down the field, they put a 7 spot on there, so makes it 30-16.
Yep.
Not quite. I mean, not out of it at that point.
That's 14 points.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have really good field position, so
see if Tyler Hill can rally his troops, because that's huge if he can.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sure they got some stuff dialed up in their playbook they're going to go to.
All right, so where about the Bobcats are they? Whereabouts are they now?
Around midfield.
All right, so about midfield, they're going to take over with about 6.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Tyler Hill is kind of taking the reins of this offense in place of Malachi Brown, who's sidelined due to some health complications this week. So, hey, we're seeing...
There's the long ball.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
I think we could see a little bit of momentum here with Tyler Hill going deep. I think that's his first deep ball of the game.
Yeah. Well, he had one earlier in the game. The first drive, they had him throw a deep ball, but that one was, pretty on target, and luckily they got a pass interference deep to his brother, and his brother, forced the PI.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that's something that they've
probably been doing that backyard football jackpot.
Yeah, jackpot. Jackpot is what it's all about at that point there. So I mean, it's in the high school ranks. It's 15 yards. It'd be nice if it was like
a spot foul. Yeah, we'll take it on the 10.
Yeah, here they're gonna take it 15 yards ahead of there. So, so Central, they're still continuing the drive here. And going back to the deep ball, and
back to Weston. Something they like.
Yeah, there's some. Is that Seth Levesque or is that back to Weston?
Back to Weston, and I mean Weston's got some size on him, so I guess they're wanting to, like y'all said, 50-50 jackpot ball up to him.
Yeah,
and
that's kind of
he could have came down with that
ball.
Oh, that's the PI.
All right, Trammell. Hey, how about an update from Arlington with Jim Ned and Hallettsville?
Yeah, so they are at halftime right now. So it's 21-7. Right now, Brooks has 226 rushing yards on 20 attempts and 2 touchdowns, keeping that 11 yards a carry average. For Jim Ned, though, it's been completely opposite. Only 21 rushing yards and 87 receiving yards, so they haven't even reached that 100 mark yet. Are they going to probably? Well, they've reached it, but still, they're getting blown out pretty early in this one. They have actually got on the scoreboard. It was a touchdown from Tate Yardley, or what's his name? Is that his name?
Yardley, yeah.
Yep, Yardley to Henderson. That's who it was. So this one's 21-7 at halftime as Hallett's is up by 14.
Now, Trammell, for the folks at home that may be wondering, okay, why is Hallettsville so good? There's a certain guy on there who's going to be playing on Saturdays. That's going to be joining our Tate Williams.
Jonathan Brooks. He's committed to the University of Texas. And, I mean, just from out of the gate in this one, he's been blowing it up. 226 yards. It's only the first half. So he's got a long time to go.
Wow. All right. So there's a reason why he's going to go play on Saturdays in
It was
in
like
years to come.
Jordan Whittington last year.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude, he balled out in Jerry's World as well.
Yeah, that's generally what happens, man. It's and this is it's cool to see the fact that Jim Nett has made it this far, but I don't know if they can make a comeback. Hey, what do you think in that one?
You know, I think Xavier Wisher, that number 5, is really gonna have to step up and become more of a playmaker, like he's been almost the entire season. I mean, he's really led this 2020 Jim Nett team to almost all their victories. And
currently he has 12 attempts, 39 yards, and his longest one was an 11-yard run.
Okay, so
which I mean that's not saying much for him. I mean he's sitting at around 2,600 yards on the season this year so far, and around 30 touchdowns. And I mean I think that somebody found his Achilles heel, but he's really going to have to step up and show what he's made of this second half.
Yeah, that's a good way to put that there. All right, let's see. So the Bobcats, they're continuing to drive. What happened in this last play?
Sorry.
No, you're good. It was they were suffering a 3rd and 19, and they ran a QB draw with Tyler Hill, who made it a little more manageable. It's 4th and 10, deep in they're in Hazlitt Eaton's territory, about the red zone, 25-yard line.
Okay. So I mean, there's still some fight in the Bobcats. I mean, they're not going quietly into the West Texas night there in the north side of Abilene. And, I think it's going to take one play here. And right now we're seeing Tyler Hill.
Yeah, he's making it happen.
This dude, he's just a bad man. What he's doing tonight.
He ran 10 yards and then pump faked and had the quarterback still jump after it was 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. I mean, this kid's a sophomore, right?
Yeah.
So he's got a long time to go, and if he plays like this, we may have some future with the Bobcats.
Yeah, I think. I mean, nothing against Malachi Brown. I mean, I think I think probably Tyler Hill's probably almost as good as Malachi, certainly with his athletic ability. And
there it shows right there. So, touchdown Bobcats.
All right, so the Bobcats back on the scoreboard. We saw, and we called it here. So they're coming off the safety there. And so now tack on 6 more. So perhaps it is now 15, or it's now 30-15. And we'll see what the extra point does after this one here. So, that makes it a very manageable. This is now a manageable ball game here.
Yeah, very manageable.
I don't think you come up with another stop. Heck, you're throwing 2 more stops. I mean, you're backing up.
I like how you think, man. I like how you think.
I'm trying to remain optimistic here, Christian. Not something. I like to do it all times, but right now, it's why not? I mean, it's your second round of the playoffs, 30-16. Hazlitt.
You got plenty of time too.
Yeah, and that there is plenty of time. Trammell, you can go full screen there, and we will go to you. Looks like we're going to see this touchdown and how we got to this point.
Here it is. It's Tyler Hill just doing it with his feet. Look at this. Let's watch it again. Surveying the field, and then just takes off running. They can't catch him.
That's too much
space.
They can try,
but come on now. That's going to be a touchdown for the Bobcats right there as they inch a little closer, 16-30.
Yeah.
All right.
30-16 at that
Shout
point.
out to Britt Blinka, our man on the field. This is all our own content, guys. Gotta love it.
Yeah, our original content there. That is for sure. So, that's how we arrived to this point. It is now 30-16. Hazlitt Eaton with a now 2. It is now a 2-possession game. here in the third quarter. About how much time, more or less, do we have?
About 4 minutes left in the third.
Minutes. Okay, so we're making a little progress here. So 30-16, Central. Man, if they can get another stop, let's keep the optimism rolling here. We're crossing the fingers. So they got to get something here. So we'll see what happens here in the next drive as this Bobcat defense gets ready to take the field. Tate is now. We've talked about this before. Now your family comes from the agricultural industry there, and you have something to do with watermelons. You also grow watermelons, is that right?
Yes, sir. My sister and I, we run it's a small watermelon business in the summer.
Okay.
We grow about an acre or two every summer and sell them at the farmers market here in San Angelo.
Okay. Not bad.
Hey, I bet you get pretty big hauling some watermelons. That's not the smallest veggie to be hauling around.
Yeah, no, to say the least. Yes.
A lot of people don't understand that every single one of those you got to pick up off the ground, and
right.
They just think it comes in a box in the store.
Yeah, no, not at all.
It's definitely a lot of work from planting them to chopping the weeds and pulling them.
I can imagine, yeah.
But I mean, it's fun, and it's a good thing for me and my sister to be doing, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Did y'all make a little coin off of that?
We did. We did pretty well off it this summer. It was probably one of our better years. And
all right. So you grow something, then you get to kind of see it, then you get to make a little something off of it.
Yes, sir.
That's not a bad way to
get a little workout in it too.
Yeah, and you get your pump in at the same time. All right, so we're seeing Central kind of, oh man, I spoke way too soon. Oh boy, so we're seeing Eaton do so much just attacking that Central defense on the ground, but it appears, they are now going to the passing attack here, and they're getting behind. They just put one behind the Central defense, so... Christian, do you think that Central that they were kind of focusing more on this running game, or that kind of just caught them on surprise there?
Definitely. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of good passing from St. Thomas, so I think maybe they stepped up. Caden Hammeister probably had his eyes in the backfield a little bit, and just completely got behind the defense as we just saw. So.
Yeah. Hey, like to give a shout out to Itzel Estelo and Edna Estelo Nava for joining us. It's family members of mine there. So thank you guys for watching here on Live Cover 1. We're bringing you the goods from the San Angelo Central ball game as they take on, this rough. I mean, I'm not calling them rough, but this is just a tough Eaton football team here. Edna saying greetings from Tennessee. Yes, we will see you here in the next few weeks. Edna, Michelle, and I. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully we can talk a Bobcat win or something meaningful that comes out of this ball game with all that. So it appears Eaton, they're very close to getting on the scoreboard again. And their quarterback, his name one last time?
St. Amma, Braden St. Amma.
Man, that's such a...
Maybe not one last time. We may have to be saying this.
Yeah, we'll probably be saying, Trammell, I think you're onto something there. As we might say his name a few more times.
Yeah, in fact, we might say it here in about 1 second.
if you can hold on for a few, or maybe we might see the Central defense come back.
Might be saying D-Baby's name.
Yeah,
I'm in.
A little Dwayne Huff. Yeah, we always enjoy saying his name there. So it appears Eaton, they are at the Central 4-yard line.
Yep.
3 yard line.
Okay, we'll call it the 3-yard line. All right, so if Eaton scores here on this drive, gentlemen, do you think it's kind of getting out of the realm of comeback possibility? Is the panic button? Are we hovering around that? Is it anywhere on the table right now?
Yeah, it's been here, and it looks like that button had just probably the glass is broken. They just scored a touchdown on a back shoulder fade, making it 36, probably going to make it 37-16.
Yeah, that was a beautiful throw, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Yep, just back shoulder ball, and that's all you need to put the ball in the right spot and then turn around at the right time.
There's not too many ways to defend that,
no.
And if you can find a way, be our guest to try and attempt that there. So it appears it is going to be 37-16 as Eaton has increased that lead to 3 possessions once again. Man.
Tough night for the Bobcats.
Yeah.
You know, what can you do when you have your quarterback you didn't know probably until the last couple of days that he wasn't going to be there? So, I mean, who knows? He could have been yesterday when they found out the news. So, you know, that's just a tough thing to do, a tough thing to follow.
Yeah, that's for sure. The Central Bobcats they're needing something, and right now not getting a whole lot of anything. I mean, they can't stop this Eaton offense. So, looks like we're going to show you how they were able to get on the scoreboard here. Tram will take us away.
All right, like I said, just back shoulder ball. Just continue to watch this receiver over here. Quarterback just right there. Boom, money. I mean, we can
what a shot.
Just right here. Boom. 2 feet in and just tiptoes out.
Hold on, yeah. Let me. In fact, let's get the graphic off of that there. And let's run it back there because, man, to get the tippy toes in there,
you got the
too.
toe drag swag.
Here it is. And the 2.
Wow.
And the possession. So,
I mean, you got to respect the catch. Yeah. That's one thing that's for sure there. I mean, I'm not sure that's probably one of the better catches we've seen this entire season. Man, in the corner of the end zone, that's not too shabby there. All right, so that makes it, that is now going to make it 37-16 in favor of the Hazlitt-Eaton Eagles. Gentlemen, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if there's, I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't know if there's a way
they need to score before the end of the third quarter, which is 31 seconds. If they can score between those next 31 seconds, they're still in it. But if this thing goes into the fourth, I don't know if they'll be able to. Golly, that's a lot of points. Points.
I mean, I love me some Tyler Hill, and I love the way he can play the game, but I mean, he's just only one man, and outside, I mean, we haven't seen anybody else. We haven't seen a Jalen Liefeld. We haven't seen Seth Levesque.
It's just glimpses of them.
Yeah.
We haven't seen much playmakers really step up.
The sprinkles, the glimpses of those guys. We can't have glimpses. We can't have sprinkles. We got to have the full-on thing.
Yep.
And so it looks like Central just completed a big ball there. So look, and we're going to go back to Matt Trammell. He's got something for us here. Trammell, what you got?
So this was right before that last touchdown. Remember, we're talking about how that defense got him left behind, and that was the play right there. So great shot right there by Brent Blinka.
That was the same dude too.
Yeah, what a great ball, and just but a great way not to quit. And they did make that tackle. So. Shout out to Brent Blinka for getting us this video.
Man, all right. So remember, all of our highlights tonight presented by Eggemeyer's General Store, the best darn little general store in West Texas. If you need last-minute Christmas gifts or perhaps the holiday ham, as Tate Williams is accustomed to there, check it out.
I go for the fudge.
The fudge,
Come on, y'all gotta go.
The fudge will get you in some trouble, Trent. I mean, that'll get you in a lot of trouble, quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Hey, it's all right. My New Year's resolution is get fit, so that's why I eat it all right now. And I'll be good.
Yeah. I tell you, man, it's like every week you can say that every week. It's like, man, I'm just gonna I'm gonna get back on that, get back in the gym train.
Hey,
on Monday,
New Year, new me.
New Year, new me.
New Year, new Trammell.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll take it. Even though we like you right now, Trammell, we'll still take a new Trammell there. So. All right, so 37-16, the Central Bobcats trailing Hazlitt-Eaton. I mean, there hasn't. We're now in the fourth quarter. They've swapped sides on the field. So
just the beginning of it right now.
I mean, we'll be honest with you, folks. There haven't really been too many positive things coming from this game. But if there is a positive, it has been Tyler Hill, the guy who has kind of stepped in of the injured Malachi Brown, who's kind of being tended to tonight. Looks like he went through surgery successfully, so thank goodness there. But yeah, Tyler Hill, I mean, the guy looks the part. And it looks like he's gonna be the guy to take the reins of this offense in years to come.
Yeah, well, both the touchdowns were due to him and his legs, which, I mean, if you remember 2018, whenever Mal stepped in, I mean, majority of it was his legs, and he had a game versus Richland where he scored, where he had 340 rushing yards.
The dude went nuts.
Yeah, I mean, And we see Mal Brown with much of the same traits here. Obviously not 340, but it's a playoff game.
Right.
So what do you expect? I'm sure he has over 130, I'd say. He's been running everywhere.
Yeah, killing it there. Misael Rene Torres joining us here. Hey, he's giving me a shout out. Greetings, Manny Diaz. Appreciate you, brother. Good friend of mine there. Tuning in tonight. We can't have Tate have all the fans here. Apparently, he's got more fans tonight than all of us combined this entire season. So, yeah, we should bring Tate Williams on more often. But, yeah, so, Tate, so have you had a chance to officially go on the Baylor campus there in Waco yet?
I have not. I'm hoping to maybe get like some kind of campus tour. Still not due to the NCAA dead period. Still not able to meet any of the coaches or actually get to see the facilities or anything like that. But I think I can get a tour of the campus itself and see really what I've been looking forward to all this time. So.
Okay, all right. Were there any other big D1 programs that were shopping you around, or that were in the market for a Tate Williams?
TCU was pushing pretty hard for me. I talked to them and Baylor for a long time, and I really respected all the TCU coaches when I made my decision, and even throughout after I'd committed, they still came back at me a little bit here and there, but they always fell back in on it was my decision, and they weren't going to try to force anything upon me.
Well, you got to respect the hustle.
I do. I really respect those guys, and it's a great coaching staff. But I think I'll fit in very well at Baylor.
Yeah, I mean that would have been cool to see you as a TCU Horned Frog. Certainly, what Gary Patterson has been able to do with that program.
Yes, sir.
I mean, for over the stretch of the last 10 or so years, they're in Fort Worth. But yeah, what are you looking to study there?
I want to be a coach eventually.
Okay.
Go into coaching. Probably start high school and hopefully go to college someday.
Nice.
So.
I can. Are you? Obviously you're an offensive guy. Is there an element of the game that you would like to coach the most?
I want to coach the offensive linemen.
Yeah.
I want to you see a lot of these O-line guys. I mean, they're all. They don't ever get any camera time just because they're the big guys, and it's like they get down on themselves, act like they're not a part of the program. But it's just get a group of guys and get that fire in them and make them play mean.
I think that was what was interesting. I mean, because obviously, every time I would go to a wall practice, they're like, "Oh, he's only here to talk to Tate, this and that." And the one time I didn't talk to you, I mean, they were like, "Oh, why is he not talking to Tate?" Yeah. But you guys, your O-line there, wow, y'all had some swag to you guys. I mean, y'all certainly didn't take no mess, Talk about your O-line that you had there. I mean, it looked like it was a fun group of guys.
Yeah, we had a lot of good kids on that line. I mean, the chemistry was there from the beginning. When we've all been pretty close since sophomore, freshman year, and all those guys are just they're good friends of mine. They're good people, and I wouldn't trust anybody else with it. So.
Yeah, I mean, why not there? Trammell, can you give us a game update? What's kind of going on with the Bobcats there?
Well, the Bobcats are driving 37-16 still. Right now they're on their 15-yard line, and they're just throwing this thing now because that's pretty much all they got. I talk, and then as I talk, we had an interception by the Bobcats on the 1-yard line.
From me to you, Trammell, I mean, we just need to get a case of shut the heck up. Yeah.
Yeah, just drown our miseries in Topo Chico's.
Oh, my goodness. So it looks
Joe's
like...
Ice House. That's where you need to get it from, by the way. Don't forget. Shout out Joe's Ice House.
Joe's Ice House is like the unofficial sponsor of Matt Trammell.
Right. I was there yesterday.
I'm assuming buying a nice beverage there, a frosty beverage that quenched your thirst.
Definitely. That was right before I went to Eggemire.
Yeah, there we go. All right, looks like Blinkers is hitting up the hotline there. Hopefully, I'm not sure if it's going to be anything good that we would enjoy seeing, but we need something to watch here. Angel Rodriguez joining the broadcast. Appreciate you. Good to That's like the Manny friends are joining the show here. Thank you guys for supporting. Friends. Yeah, friends of Manny Diaz. So
this is just the Manny and Tate show, Christian.
Yeah, my fans.
All right, here we go. So unfortunately, this is gonna just probably put a nail in this coffin. A pick on the 1 yard line, a diving pick on the 1 yard line. Look at this. Reach out for it. What an impressive play, but that play was not good for the Bobcats. As just going to really keep just putting it in there for them.
Man, and that's the, I mean, the touchdown was pretty impressive. The back shoulder, I mean, look at that. Defensive guys aren't supposed to do those kinds of things.
And he had time in the pocket back there. He just
he's
throwing.
He was trying. I mean, we saw a little Malachi Brown gunslinger in him right there.
Yeah, that was for Jalen Lifesty too.
Yeah, well, if you look as soon as he takes this ball, look where he looks. At him the whole entire time, and they read it.
Oh yeah.
All you had to do, read his eyes.
Yeah, I mean,
eyes don't lie, Chico.
That coverage was pretty hefty on that side of the field. So man, it's that kind of just ended the good times there for the Bobcats. Is now it is going back to the Eaton Eagles, and how much time is left in this ball game here, gentlemen?
We got about 9.5 minutes left.
Yeah, too much time. Daniel, Rachel, Avila, we appreciate you joining us on the broadcast here on Live COVER1. We wish we had some better news to pass along, but the Central Bobcats, man, it has just been rough tonight. 37-16 as they trail the kids from Fort Worth, Texas. I think the winner of this game, they will get Prosper.
I know
Prosper is in this thing, and they're looking to kind of just. I think probably Prosper is the one that's the heavy favorite to advance out of this region here with that.
Is it not the winner of South Lake Carroll's game who gets?
No, South Lake Carroll. That is Division One. Okay. South Lake Carroll's Division One with Odessa Permian.
Right.
We'll see that one tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon. If you will, but yeah, let me pull up the bracket here, and so in that one there, it is Prosper and Arlington Bowie that'll play on Saturday there in the Dallas Metroplex area. So that's a 1 o'clock kickoff. So if you don't have anything else to do and you want to go check out some high school football, the kids from Prosper are pretty darn good to watch as well. So. Right now it looks like Hazlitt Eaton will advance. I mean, unless something just drastically happens.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. They're just running the clock
as
much as they can.
They're getting behind the big uglies, the kids who like to put away groceries.
And Central's looking like they're trying to pack the box a little more here, but it doesn't seem like that's even working for them.
All right. Well, hey, enough of the doom and gloom. Let's talk to our good friend Tate Williams here because he's gonna head off to the Baylor University after a while.
No, Tate, I got a question for you.
What's that?
How do you feel about the color green?
I like green. I
hope so. Because I bet TCU walked up and said, "Oh, Baylor talked to you. Dang it! I already got the color scheme."
That's something I told that first recruiter that I had is grew up on the farm with John Deere green, was green and yellow, and then I'm going to Baylor, got the green and yellow again.
Green and yellow, yeah.
Yeah, one you ain't got to go buy new college dorm sheets.
Yeah. Michelle, I don't know why Joe was eating ice cream on camera. So I don't have an answer. Joe, do we know why you were eating ice cream on camera there? Did you get lost?
He's having to drown his sorrows in the podcast. The first thing you go to is ice cream. You know where the best ice cream is?
Joe's Ice House.
Hey, my general store.
Yeah. Hey, that's probably been the highlight of the night is Joe kind of coming in. Let's bring Joe back in here.
Yeah, bring him in.
Joe, what do you?
That bluebell, man. There's something about that bluebell.
That's about the eighth little mini bluebell thing I've seen you eat today.
Well, they're too small. Too small.
Joe, how big are these blue? Are these like what size is this?
Just like that.
Hey, that's one scoop.
We need to get him the half gallon. Just set it on and just carry that in.
Yeah, a bunch of them in the freezer.
The big red bucket, Eat
it with a shovel.
Yeah. Joe Hyde, publisher, owner of San Angelo Live. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Joe, with the ice cream.
Hey, without him, we wouldn't all be right here. So.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Shout out there, Joe Hyde. Also, shout out to Joseph Murillo of Sonora, Texas. He's also a former Central Bobcat. Appreciate you joining and watching us tonight. Joseph, I wish we had some better news to pass along when it comes to the Central Bobcats, because right now, 37-16, Hazlitt, Eaton just kind of, is it safe to say dominating? Can we say that?
Yeah, I think you can say dominating. 21 points, that's when you pass the sticks.
Yeah. Man, what will Chadwick say? He drove all the way down from San Angelo to Abilene tonight to watch and see and hope and pray that Central would be able to just pull another rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah.
So him and Blinka's down there getting video. So, wonder what those guys are thinking. They were probably hoping they were going to drive to see a good game, and now looking like a blowout.
Yep. Yeah, like the Sofia Garcia Hot Wheels car. This one off the rails for the Central Bobcats tonight. Thank you to the niece Sophia, always hooking me up with Hot Wheels there. But yeah, the Bobcats, this has not been, and it's kind of just got off to a bad start for them. It was a safety that started it off. Then Hazlitt Eaton kind of just tacked on a little bit more. And then it was just kind of a snowball effect.
Yeah, from the safety to them scoring after the safety to the Tyler Hill interception, which caused another score. It just got real bad real quick.
That Hazlitt offensive line, Central has not had the defense has not had an answer for that.
No.
Usually those guys, maybe they can gain a little bit of leverage on that. Tate, seeing these guys, would you want to line up against some of those guys if you're the only big O lineman on the line there?
Well, I'd be more than willing to take it on the O-line, but, I don't know what it is about defense. I just never really got a huge handle on it. It's just something a little different. But, that's a force to be reckoned with right there.
Yeah, with these guys, because this Hazlitt Eaton team, they're running downhill. These guys, how much of a difference is it from pass blocking to blocking for the run? How big of a difference is that?
Blocking for the run is most of the time like you've got an assignment and you take that assignment in a direction that you want to take them. A lot of our blocking stuff, the fullbacks reading the guards of the tackles block, and so certain plays, if I'm blocking him straight up and he wants to move this way to try to get around it, I'll continue taking that way. Fullback's supposed to read off of me. Whereas, it's a no get down and get him out of there kind of block, and you want to put everything into it. But the pass blocking, it's more of a patient and have your hands ready and set up and don't let anybody through.
Right.
And you really got to have your head on a swivel. And
I imagine, because so many things are.
Sir.
You're right there. You're stationary at that point when you're blocking for the run. You're moving around. Yeah.
Hey, I can show you an example.
What you got?
Click this. Show on my screen, guys.
Get in your stance.
I had asked Tate's mom to send me some pictures for his story about him signing his letter of intent, and I had to pick this one right here. This is that downhill run blocking right here at its finest.
Do you remember this play right here, or does this kind of draw? Can you remember what happened there?
What happens here? I do remember this one. I'd put this kid down and I picked him up and I set him on his back, and I was getting up off the top of him and my legs cramped up. And so I had my hands on him and I'm bent over on top of him, so it looks like I'm just pinning him to the ground after the play. And
so this wasn't a pancake?
It was a pancake, but
are we taking a fake pancake here?
As I'm getting up off the ground, I cramped up, and so I was stuck over the top of him. But
nonetheless, though, it did look pretty mean. So I went ahead and I was like, I gotta use that.
Trammell's over here trying to take away Tate's pancake.
Hey, I don't know. It sounds like a waffle to me.
But yeah, oh man, so that's good stuff there. Tate Williams here. He is no longer committed. He is a signee of Baylor University.
I have a score update. Eaton just kicked a field goal from about their the Bobcat 35-yard line. So it was about a 40-yard field goal.
Yeah.
And they made it, so now it makes it 40-16. So that lead's getting bigger, guys.
Oh man, so I guess I think it's can we do it. Is it safe to wave the white flag at this point?
Panic button's already pressed here.
Yeah, I mean it's their panic button. It's going.
Well, wait a second.
Well, come on over here, Joe. Come on over here. Bring
Yeah,
your
bring
ice
the
cream.
Yeah.
Bring your ice cream. Bring
All
your
right,
green
so-
hat.
Tate, I got to ask you, who else recruited you?
I had TCU, Rutgers, UNLV, Texas State,
This guy's stout.
UTSA, Army, Navy, Penn State talked to me for a little bit. University of Texas, Texas Tech talked to me.
Jimbo? Did Jimbo come see you?
No, I never got to talk to Jimbo.
Jimbo didn't? Oh,
Never heard nothing.
Joe's an
saying
Aggie, so I mean he's a little heartfelt.
I'm depressed. about Jimbo.
UNLV, could you
We're
imagine?
gonna call Jimbo up.
You know, it's something kind of funny about the. I was talking to those guys on Sikkim 365, and I think it was them. I had a radio interview with them, and they were talking. And after I hung up the phone, he's like, "Man, that's kind of a whiff on A&M's part. They got a chant and says Farmers Fight, and they didn't even look at him." And,
I mean, you had the John Deere thing going.
I
and
mean,
everything.
yeah. He is the prototype to be a true Aggie down at College State. Yeah.
Instead, he's going to be up there on the he's going to be north on the Brazos.
Yeah, you just go up the Brazos
Yeah.
a little bit there.
Yeah. Well,
I tell
can't
you what,
believe
one of the
Jimbo.
better ones would probably have been UNLV. I mean, going to college in Las
Vegas.
Vegas.
That's what I was saying.
I mean, I thought I was broke in college. Oh, man. God, I would either been really rich or really broke.
Yeah, the way the Trammell lines go, I don't know, Trammell. You may be onto something. You would have probably been onto something
Yeah,
there.
hey, I'm in. Roll them sevens.
Rolling
sevens.
Yeah, there we go. So Tate Williams here joining us here on COVER1 Live, and we're in the final. We are in the twilight of this game here tonight, as the Central Bobcats are trailing 40-16 to Hazlitt Eaton. Tate, this is how much are you gonna just miss playing, under the Friday night lights in Wall, Texas? I mean, because you talked about like how you had a lot of camaraderie with these guys.
Yeah, I mean these guys are like brothers to me. I mean they played a huge part in my time at Wall, and it's kind of a sad deal knowing that I won't take the field with these guys again. But it was fun while it lasted, and everything's got to come to an end. But I'm going to turn a page and begin a new chapter in my life at Baylor, and I think it's going to be another fun ride.
Yeah, well, you're going to create some Baylor fans, that's for sure. When we watch you suit up there for the Baylor Bears. All right, Matt Trammell does have a Blinka,
So, guys,
Blinka highlight for us.
I lied. It wasn't a 40-yard field goal. It was a 46-yard field goal. Look at this leg.
That's good from 50.
He probably had another 10,
Oh, yeah,
10 yards
easily.
on it. Look at this. And this is in game right here.
Not too shabby. We've been seeing some pretty solid
Yeah,
plays
we
from this
have.
Hazlitt Eaton team. Man, that's not too bad there.
Tell you, y'all had a pretty good kicker this year, didn't y'all?
Yeah,
He's got a little leg on him. I remember earlier in the year, he hit like a 35, 36-yarder.
I think so. I think he does have potential. He's real young. I think he's a freshman this year, or freshman or sophomore. His name's Pierce Jamison, and I think he does have potential. He just needs to calm his nerves a little bit, and then whenever the situation gets tight, he just needs to be able to capitalize on the
the kid's got a boot on him.
He
though,
does.
I'll tell you that.
He
But
can.
I think he is a true freshman. I mean, I remember hearing that the first couple games I went and covered over there, and I mean, just this kid sits there on the, most small school kickers, they're not usually just the kicker, but this guy, no, he's sitting there the whole entire game, just kick another one. All right, sit here for a little bit. I'm gonna kick another one. I mean, constantly just kicking, keeping his leg warm, And when they needed him in Wall, I remember watching him hit about 35, maybe it was a 40-yard field goal.
Yeah, I think in practice he hit anywhere from 40 to 45 yards every night on his best days, and
Okay.
it's just I think getting in game, some of it kind of gets to him. He's got people running at him, but I think it'll come with more experience and being his first year as a varsity football player. I think I think he does have a lot of potential, and he can do a lot of things for Wall in the future.
Not bad. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've talked about, you going and playing at Baylor. We talked about you're kind of wrapping up, closing up shop here at Wall. But, man, but we also touched on the size of your hands. For the folks at home, show us your hands. I mean, because these things are just...
We need something to compare it to.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
I mean...
Mine are about average.
Use that
That's... Yeah, I
use
mean...
that water bottle. Grab that water bottle, Christian. Use your water bottle right there. Yeah.
So Coke cans are like mini Cokes.
Yeah. I mean, I can...
Hey.
From pinky to...
Oh, my God.
That's pinky.
Wow. That's that's pretty cool there.
Can you palm a basketball?
I can palm one in both hands.
Can you palm it off the dribble?
Yes.
Off the dribble.
Yeah, that's it right there where you can just dribble and then just sticks.
Bounce it off the ground, stick it to my hand. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
that's perfect.
Man, that's like we got to find something else that Tate can get his hands on here.
That football.
So if the football career don't work out, I know a guy with the professional arm wrestling league. We can
He's got the forearm.
That one's not aired up.
Something interesting about that is I suck at arm wrestling. Like I don't know why. As one thing I've never been able to do, but I mean,
God, that's insane. Look, I mean, folks, look at this right here. I mean, the meat hooks on this guy here. That's impressive, man. And that's just, so you're in the same realm as like Kawhi Leonard, which is just, whenever I read that blew my mind. Because I remember, when I worked briefly in San Antonio, and I covered Kawhi after he got drafted by the Spurs, and I shook his hand, and I mean, of course, I shook his hand. I had to look up at him because he's like 6'7", 6'8", and then on top of that, the dude has like massive hands. Like
hands are on your forearms.
It felt like you were taking it with both hands.
I know, that's the way I felt. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I need like a step ladder and like another set of hands just to actually communicate with this guy. And of course, he doesn't say anything.
He just does his two fingers. He just shakes your little hand.
Yeah. He's like, there you go, Manny. Yeah, so that was an embarrassing moment with Kawhi Leonard, and shaking Tate's hand. It's like deja vu all over again. So, but yeah, that's I've always found that that whenever I read that, whenever I talked to you here this past summer, just seeing that's pretty cool, man. Do people? I mean, I imagine that could just like turn into like a whole party act. It's like people finding things for you to palm, or people finding things that you can grip.
I think the coolest thing is like an Xbox controller. I can put my hand over it and cover the whole Xbox. Like you just grab it and it just disappears.
Wow. So it's almost like, because some people like they struggle with like a phone, and that like from going from like.
Oh yeah, how do you text? How does that
I mean, it is kind of hard, so I gotta have these big cases on here. Oh my gosh! Like without,
look at that little bitty phone
with the little case on. Without the case, it's like typing like this. I can't hardly.
Yeah. His thumbs hit 2 letters at once. 3 letters.
Yeah, the normal person, is just trying to get from the left if you're working with the left hand. To try to get up there, but that's the ease. That's no.
Oh yeah, the reach.
Oh, my
the
dad
reach
just sent me these.
Yeah, there's no reaching with any thumb.
Oh, okay.
If you can.
Yes. Hey, do me a favor. Let's see. Let's airdrop that, and Trammell can put that on the show for us. Let's see. Man, well, let's send it to me, and I'll send it over there. Let's see. I'll accept that there. Yeah. So. Pretty much, I mean, Tate, if you look at the guy, I mean, he's already a big kid, and then it's just fun to see what else he can palm, because his hands are very similar to that of Kawhi Leonard, what you see of the Los Angeles Clippers. So this guy, I imagine whenever you get to college, that people are going to figure that out when they see the size of your hands. They're going to try to figure out what you can do with that. So. Trammell, I did send something in the group.
We're gonna. It's coming right.
Okay, so we'll get that here in a bit. Was that you dunking, or is that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can you dunk it off the dribble there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So Trammell, did
I don't know if it ever went through there, but
did Blinker ever give us anything else with that?
We just got the field goal. Bobcats are actually in scoring position right now. They're on the 9-yard line, 2nd and 9 right now. So 2nd and goal. Will they be able to score? Maybe, but there's only a minute left, so not a lot of that's going to matter.
It's we're kind of talking garbage time with that in the later moments of this ball game here. So I'm not sure if there's. I mean, it's like what do you do with that there? Full size ringer. Not sure. All right. Well, there we go.
All right.
All right. So it looks like we Tate's. What's your dad's name, Tate?
Ty Williams.
Ty Williams. So. Thanks to Mr. Ty Williams, we're going to actually get a little look at Tate here. In fact,
Tate, how tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
6'4". How is it 260?
270 pounds.
270.
Man, this is a mountain of a guy. Yeah, so
get up there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why you play on the basketball team.
Can we just first look at these dribbles? They're like sticky. It's like duct tape. Nice.
How many? Trammell, run that back. How many dribbles is that off the dribble there for the dunk?
There's pretty much no dribble needed.
Two dribbles.
Yeah, two dribbles. That's wow. I could only dream of doing that, and not even in my dreams would I be able to pull that off. Wow. And look, that ball's sticking to your hands. It looks like it's like there's just glue. That's Tate. I'm just impressed, my man. That's pretty cool.
Hey, and if y'all think Tate's done being a wall hawk, don't worry. He does this every Tuesday and Friday.
yeah. You can catch him on the court near you. Tate, how are you guys doing so far in the season here?
Oh, we're not doing too bad. At the beginning, things were a little rough. We've had a couple kids. Our starting point guard was out for the first few games that the football guys were back. Mm-hmm. He rolled his ankle pregame to Reagan County, I think.
Okay.
But we've got another guy out. His younger brother is a freshman. He's out with a stress fracture in his foot.
Oh my gosh!
We got one of our starters from last year is also out. He should be back after Christmas though. He had a broken something in his foot as well.
Yikes!
It's one of the smaller bones.
That doesn't sound like any fun at all.
No, but we've been getting by. New coach this year, Coach Dawson. I mean, he's a great guy, and I really like him, and I think he's going to do good things for our program.
Now you were talking that you guys have a pretty big opponent coming up, and it's somebody that San Angelo Central sees on an annual basis.
Yes, sir. Odessa Permian's coming to Wall on Friday.
They're coming to Wall. Usually, small schools have to go to them.
Yeah, well, they're actually coming down to Wall this year, and I think Coach Dawson got it to where we didn't have to travel for this one.
Okay.
But that ought to be an interesting one to say the least.
Yeah, I want to go watch that one there. All right, so, speaking of the Little Southwest Conference, back to the Central Bobcats here. So this is officially a final score now, 40-16. Hazlitt Eaton has defeated the Central Bobcats in the area round of the Class 6. What am I saying here? Because I'm thinking Sterling City from yesterday. The Class 6A Division II area round. And now in this one, so Central is officially eliminated there. Hey, your mom's saying Jim Ned in Hallettsville.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say.
What is going on?
21.
High ball game in Arlington? What?
We have any video of that?
Did they take Jonathan out?
Man, I wish we had a
He has
Blinko
another 8 carries, but only another 10 yards since halftime.
Wow.
So they're shutting down Jonathan Brooks. Maybe that was the secret. And who was the guy you said? Xavier
Wishart?
Yeah. He is showing up now. He's got 140 yards on the ground now. And Yardley's got 3 touchdowns with Henderson having grabbed 2 of those with 70 yards. Now they're looking better. They got 128 on the ground and 137 in the air. So really, you want to talk about a time to turn around, it's the state championships.
Man, here comes the tribe.
No kidding. They're definitely a second-half team looking like here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
And, you know, it's something that's really impressive is I don't think Jim Ned's played from behind almost all year, except, you know, they started off with a loss to Ballinger at the beginning, but they're still.
Yeah. In fact, that's Trammell's go-to line. You know, he says, "Okay, Jim Ned's
I always bring it up."
Yeah, every time he says, "Oh, you start talking good about Jim Ned." Oh yeah, by the way, they lost to Ballinger.
Right.
You know, it's those things happen.
Just bring it up.
Don't forget, you know.
You know, and all those Ballinger kids, you know, rub that in our face. You know, we beat them and y'all didn't. And,
man, I can't. Yeah, I bet that's a never-ending story.
Yeah.
There.
So Jim Ned, first and goal. Ball's on. Wait, that may be.
I think that's a little late.
So there's 4 minutes left in that ball game there?
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah, they just scored. So yeah, 4 minutes left in the ball game. Jim Ned's about to kick it back to
Hallettsville.
Oh, okay. Halletts. Sorry, the whole name they cut off. Hallettsville. What are they? The Indians?
I'm not sure what they are.
I think they're the Brahms?
The Brahmas?
Brahms?
The
Brahmas.
Like the cows?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the old the Rock. Whenever he was
okay.
He used to rock the Brahma.
Yeah, that's it.
In the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
You guys probably don't know too much about that. That's dating me right there.
Hey, that's okay, Manny. I'm right there. I'm right there.
Yeah, Christian, what does the Attitude Era mean to you?
I don't even know.
Yeah. I'm not even going to dare ask that question.
New World Order is?
Oh my gosh. You guys, man, that's terrible. All right. Well, it's been fun. It's been real with the Central Bobcats this season, man. So that their season comes to a close at 5-6. Is that? I think that sounds about right.
Losing season, but they won a playoff game. They got a gold ball.
That's something. You know, we've seen that happen on the north side of town where the things don't end too well on the winners and losers side of the scale there. But I mean, hey, you get to the second round of the playoffs.
That's something.
Still did something.
Yep.
I mean, that's for sure. Let's see. Trammell, I know we're going to have one final show next week, and this is kind of just to wrap it all up as we kind of just talk about the year in review. We kind of wind down some of the biggest games. I think probably the best game, one of the better games that I think we've seen this season. Maybe it would have had to have, although they lost, was with the Central Bobcats in College Station against A&M Consolidated.
That was the first week of the live desk.
Yes, that was Trammell's debut.
Yeah, debut on the show.
And
they said, quit following the Hawks and come up here to the studio.
Yeah. And then I think probably you have to throw in Wall versus Boyd.
I was going to say that one.
Yeah. Wall v. Boyd was, that was an instant classic how that one ended because, after the game, asked Houston Guy, it's like, okay, so what went into that play in there? And they said, well, yeah, we saw, he was talking trick play perhaps, but then they noticed something with Chase Rios in the matchup there, and all right, send Chase Rios to the Buick and let him catch it and reel it in. So, that game was a lot of fun to watch. That was one of the games. That was the game you got the personal foul where the guy was LeBron.
Oh yeah.
He flopped on you.
Had the Hollywood Clinic going that game. So.
That's right. All right. Okay. So we're seeing. I tell you what, the traffic on this game hasn't been as high as what we saw yesterday with Sterling City. Sterling City, brought the kitchen sink with what they were wanting to watch yesterday. But man, that was an exciting awesome football game.
We had Caniddle go off.
Yeah,
it was our entertainment.
Yeah, Cross Caniddle. Remember that name, Tate Williams? Have you ever seen a 6-man game?
I've never watched 6-man football.
Yeah, it is a true delight to watch those guys. Rebecca Renteria, that was Central Bobcats' last game. Yes, indeed, that was. That is the season-ending game for the Bobcats. We wish we had a better outcome for you. I think it just kind of came down to just being unable to stop. This Eaton bunch, and Christian kind of touched on it. It was just a snowball effect in the early goings of this game. So
and it's a tough deal for Central, but you know what, they got there and they had a pretty solid year, I'd say. So nothing to look down on.
Yeah.
it sucks for Malachi. You know,
I know. Yeah, for Malachi, very, very unfortunate as what happened with him down the stretch of the season. But hey, representing the Little Southwest Conference, coming up this week, we will see Odessa Permian take on South Lake Carroll tomorrow at 4:30. Back at Anthony Field on the campus of Abilene Christian University. Then on Saturday, Midland Lee versus Euless Trinity at Globe Life Park.
I'm excited for that one.
Former home of the Texas Rangers there.
Is there still dirt on the field?
Tremel, we were talking about this earlier.
If they're going to play in little Oakland Raiders style here,
so that's where Jim Ned
baseball diamond. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome to play on the dirt.
That's where Jim Ned played their semifinal game.
They played Mount Vernon there, and they told the former Baylor head coach Art Briles to go take a hike.
Yeah,
Art Briles got beat in that game.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's no longer a Texas high school football coach now.
Yeah,
he's looking to maybe go
Texas Tech's looking at him, I think.
I know. Yeah,
I think they're talking Liberty. The guy from Liberty loses his job.
Yeah. It would be a weird.
Where is Liberty? Is that New York?
It's up there. It's northeast. I think it's northeast somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's.
So weird.
Maybe Philadelphia.
A weird combination
I
for
could see
Art
that.
Briles.
Yeah, like Liberty Bell. I don't know.
Yeah.
Y'all are asking the wrong guy.
I know, but it's been fun following the Central Bobcats this entire season. The first few games were just a roller coaster. Man, we just didn't know what we were going to get out of these guys, and we hit the district season. All of a sudden, Malachi Brown just turns into it was Heisman watch every week with Malachi Brown, just him throwing for one school record after another. And then, the days of Midland Lee and Odessa Permian just kind of those teams are good. We're not going to, although they are the bitter rivals, they are what we refer to as the Houston Texans around here. When it comes to that, sorry, Trammell.
Wait, what? Whoa!
I'm trying to throw shade at Trammell here.
I'll start talking about the 5-6 records, like the Cowboys.
It's have fun with the Cowboys. Have fun at your will there. But then, so we saw the Bobcats. They kind of put some things together. It was just we didn't. I think whenever they entered the opening round of the playoffs against El Paso Eastlake, we still didn't even know what kind of team was
much of like this game too, because
Yeah.
Eastlake had only played El Paso team, so we didn't know a lot about them.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of come to an end for them there. So we I think it looks good for seasons to come with them. Certainly next season, as the Bobcats close out this one as they fall to Hazlet Easton 40-16. There at ACU in Abilene. Commissioner Sammy Farmer joining us on the broadcast this evening, saying you guys do a great job. Also, former Central Bobcat coach Larry Holscher, thank you so much for joining us as well. All right, final thoughts as we kind of close this one off. We'll start with you, Trammell. What do you think about this one, and certainly how the Bobcats ended this one?
Well, it's been a heck of a year for the Bobcats. They played some really hard teams early, and then remember we had so much hope when they went on that winning streak in district, and then we had a lot of hope when we had the playoff game, and it really stinks that it came down to maybe a quarterback being unavailable, But at the end of the day, you got to be happy with this team. We kind of knew that this team was probably not going to be the best Central team that we've ever seen, and they weren't. But they were able to play through all that and still come out with a winning record, or not a winning record, but a gold ball. Yeah,
you can't take that away from them, that's for sure. All right, well, thank you, Matt Trammell. It's
been real.
Yeah.
It's been fun. This has been the Joe's Ice House Live Desk. Megameyer's Pizza, real estate professionals of Texas.
Christian, the former Bobcat here, as we kind of wrap up the night, final thoughts.
Congratulations to Central. Obviously not sure what they wanted, but, they faced some adversity throughout the years, and they, or throughout this year, I should say, and they faced it well and, went in head on with it. And I'm sure Brent Davis is proud of this group of kids. Definitely shocked us, to say the least.
No,
and,
that they did.
Just congrats to them. Malachi, I hope some colleges look at him, get a good eye on him. Great kid, great athlete, and obviously proud.
He can probably catch the ball too.
He definitely can. He's an athlete.
He's athlete for sure.
He's a hell of an athlete.
All the way around.
Prayers to you, my man. I hope you feel better. And I mean, that's about it. It's been real. Very real. We got one more, but... And also thank you to my man Tate.
Yeah, Tate. It's in fact big things are coming for Tate Williams. He's going to be headed off to Baylor in the fall. Tate, are they kind of hopeful that maybe you can squeeze into a starting lineup? Or are you going to be able to compete for a starting job?
Well, I'm hoping to. Coach Wickline, the offensive line coach at Baylor, he's been telling me that he doesn't want anybody coming in with a mindset that they want a red shirt. So you want to have that. You come in like you're going to red shirt, and they tell you you're going to red shirt. You're not going to work as hard.
Right.
So he said, he told me that you come in and you work your tail off and show me what you got. And I mean, anybody's got a chance at a spot this next year.
Well, you were certainly fun to watch while you were suited up there for the Wall Hawks, and man, it's not every year or not all the time that we get to see a homegrown Concho Valley kid represent us playing for a Big 12 school. That's impressive. So, but man, it's been fun watching you for the last few years, and congratulations. We know you're going to do big things. That's for sure. And if anything, we'll find some cool stuff for you to palm. You know.
Don't forget about the little folks down here. Big old Waco.
Big old Waco.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's been fun. It's been real, guys. Unfortunate for the Bobcats tonight. It just didn't the cards. It wasn't in the cards for them to win tonight. Hazlitt Easton was just a little bit better team than they were tonight. But man, a fantastic season. Looking forward to seeing what the rest of the Little Southwest Conference is going to be doing. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be hanging out with Permian and Midland Lee. In fact, I kind of joined the Midland Lee program on Saturday. Doing some contract work with them, with the hype video for them. So I'll be hanging out with them there at Globe Life Park. But
shocker, Manny's doing stuff for Midland Lee.
Always a Bobcat, always supporter of the Angry Orange. And I will always remind the Lee folks that's for sure. Hey, Tate, your mom chiming in here. Congratulations, Tate. Wall America is so proud of you. And Sammy Farmer, our county commissioner here, saying congrats, Tate. So, man, there's a lot of people pulling for you around here, and we're certainly looking forward to seeing you there. Let's see. I think maybe we might be awaiting some. Trammell, do we have the potential to bring in Chadwick on the show before we say goodbye?
I can try to get a hold of him really quick.
Okay. Well, we'll delay the final goodbye.
It would have to be another phone call again.
Okay.
Do we want to do a phone call or do we?
Yeah, in fact, if we can bring him on via phone call, I think that would be great. Tate, I've been instructed to maybe put this car inside your hand and see how small that thing is there. So, see, that thing's tiny. Oh my gosh, Tate,
swallow it.
Yeah. All right. So we have the resident Bobcat connoisseur Ryan Chadwick on the horn. Ryan, man, how did this one fall apart? Give me your thoughts on this.
Well, it started up front. The Bobcats couldn't stop what is called a quarterback read option. Basically, where the quarterback either has a choice to hand the ball off or keep it himself, and then he has one of his guards or tackles swing wide to set up that lead block for him, and that just kept working for him all night long. The Eaton offense probably had over 250 yards rushing on the ground. It was pretty insane, but that's where it started. And because the defense couldn't get off the field, and because the offense couldn't produce, then it's not a winning recipe.
Yep. No, that's for sure. Okay, now there's a lot to point to with how the defense played. You can take a lot of the negatives, and certainly concentrate on that. Positives. What'd you like about Tyler Hill tonight? Were there things that impressed you, or were there other elements of this game that impressed you that were good from the Bobcats?
First off, speaking of Tyler Hill, I spoke to Coach Davis after the game, and Coach Davis told me that Tyler didn't even find out he was going to be playing quarterback until he got to school this morning.
Oh my gosh.
Hats off to that kid for showing up ready to go and playing the way he played. He did have a couple picks, but, I mean, it's all just growth for him at this point. Like, he's only a sophomore. He's an incredibly athletically gifted kid. He's not even done growing yet. Central's going to have him for another 2 years. Like, I think he's got a really bright future ahead of him. Other than that, on the offense, Life Hesty, again, played lights out. You can always expect him to ball. The offensive line opened up some great holes and kept Tyler clean for most of the night, so they did a great job. Defensively, the defensive line played as good as they always do. Montavious Dobbins and Caesars, I think it's
Saldana, yeah.
Like they both played great. Each recorded a sack. Almost had a forced fumble. It was ruled an incompletion. You know, you could argue either way. Tom Brady took rule, all that. But other than that, the linebacking core, they started figuring out the inside run game towards the end of the game, and there weren't just those glaring holes in the defense at the end. Other than that, though, like, great season from the Bobcats. I know this one didn't end up the way we wanted it to, but the guys played their hearts out this year, especially during a year with COVID in it. You know, like, they didn't even know what they were going to have in full season and had to deal with all the precautions and all the protocols. So, as a Bobcat alumni myself, hats off to the Cats. Mm-hmm. I've completely and utterly enjoyed doing what I've done for them this season.
Yeah. Well, we've certainly enjoyed you being part of our broadcast and a part of our show, and certainly all your write-ups throughout the season, Chadwick. We thank you for making the trek to Abilene. I know it's just down the road. I mean, usually when the Bobcats travel, they travel far and wide, but this is just kind of a drive down the road for them tonight. So we appreciate the assistance this season, and we'll look forward. Hopefully we'll see you down the road next season, but you know, may not happen. You might end up getting a coaching gig somewhere.
Well, there's always a hope, Manny.
Well, we'll hope that. I mean, we'd love to have you back, but if not, hey man, even better, because you're doing what you love to do, and you're so good at what you do with talking high school football. So, well, thank you, Chadwick. Anything else for Chadwick, gentlemen?
I think that'll be it. Thanks, Chadwick.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, Ryan Chadwick, kind of the resident Bobcat connoisseur, giving us his final thoughts on that one there. All right. Well, it's been fun with Christian. This is kind of our last show. Yeah. We still have one more recap show we'll have next week with that there. So. This is it. We still have one more to go with all that, but for Tate, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Appreciate the insight on a lot of different things you talked about tonight. You schooled us, on some different things, which is a lot of fun. I mean, we don't get that perspective from the guys that put away groceries, So, but guys, thank you so much. We appreciate each and every one of you joining us for every Friday nights here on Live Cover 1 here on CityAngelLive.com. We have one more week to go, so we hope that you joining us next week as we kind of recap the season. We'll put together some of the best games along with some of the best stories of the year, and we might even wind it down with an MVP of who we thought is the Live Cover 1 MVP. So stay tuned for that. To say the least. All right, for these fine gentlemen, I'm Manny Diaz, and including Joe Hyde, who's probably somewhere breaking down an ice cream. Hopefully he is. He's eating one for us tonight. Nonetheless, good night. God bless. We will see you for Week 18. Gosh, that's so weird to say. Good night.
Let's go!
What?